Hello and welcome to another episode of Manifest Actual Play. I am Tommy Cotton. With me, as always, are Dan Benmarin, Adi Jania, Seth Lillany, and Roman Milan.
No, that's right.
Yeah, we're here to play some Manifest. But before we jump into the actual play and the recap and all that good stuff, we have things to talk to y'all about. What do we got, guys?
The first thing I have to talk to you about is our charity for the month. Every month we like to highlight a charity that is doing good work in the world, lend our platform to them. This month, our charity is GLSEN. It's GLSEN. They're the leading national education organization working to transform K-12 schools into safe and affirming environments that ensure LGBTQ students are able to learn and grow in a school environment that is free from bullying and harassment. 8 out of 10 LGBTQ students are still harassed each year just because of who they are, but GLSEN is working to change that through researching and developing evidence-based solutions and providing resources for educators to use in their school communities. They are a great organization. They do really important work. If you have the time or the money or the platform that you could lend to them, that would be great because they're great. I don't know who I'm throwing to. Back to you.
Seth, go!
Oh, thanks, Dan. So we are here every night from 9-8 Central. If you'd like to be alerted when we go live, you can smash that follow button down below. Also, if you love our show and you want to support us, you can do the subscribe button. And also, on top of that, if you got Amazon Prime, which you probably do, I wouldn't be surprised, then you get 1 complimentary subscription to a Twitch channel, which you should probably use to subscribe to this Twitch channel because that just makes the most sense, right? All the money we get from subscriptions, from the bits, from the cheers and the gifts and donations, they go straight back into the stream to improve the quality of viewing for all of you. So like we might get microphones or different lighting. Maybe I'll get the light fixed in the other room where I'm supposed to be streaming from. So who knows? You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Manifest RPG or Manifest the RPG. Just try both. You'll find it for sure.
And there are
Boing.
no secret clues hidden to lead you to the Instagram.
I don't know if Roman has a thing to say, but should that be where I pass it next?
Yeah, let's do a little clock.
Yeah.
Thanks, Seth. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. For those of you who haven't heard, I'm on a podcast called All Sequels Go to Heaven, where we watch movie sequels at the ends of franchises with my brother and one of my best friends, Spencer. And tomorrow's episode is on 2013's Riddick, which is a wild movie and probably worth a watch. But the episode's a lot of fun. We discuss whether or not the flying Graysons, were in a high-flying tontine. And also we discovered that Google thinks there's a man named Macho Man Randy Travis. And we had a lot of fun with that. So please go check it out. It's a fun app.
Beautiful. Up to Addie.
It's my turn. I don't know what's
it's blurry.
It's the whole stream.
Hello, everybody. We are here, and there isn't anything new that we're ready to announce as far as merch goes or like Waypoint Games yet, though in the next little while you guys may see a flurry of activity. But as sort of like I meant to grab the actual thing that I was gonna send you guys or show you guys, but instead I'm just gonna show you this because I forgot the actual product. But we have been working behind the scenes. You guys asked for stickers. And so we have been working on those. I don't actually have the Waypoint stickers yet. But we did get stickers made otherwise.
We did a test run.
We did a test run, and we love this sticker company. So I was going to show you the high quality sticker that we had made, if you can see it. And yeah,
Sweet
so
boy.
yeah. So we are well on our way to getting our first merch, which I'm really excited about. And then we've also got some really cool announcements coming up. I don't want to. Yeah, it's not like 100,000% official yet, so I'm not going to announce it. But in the next couple of weeks, we definitely will. Also, we've got a surprise for the stream coming up in the next 1 to 2 months, so you can keep an eye out for that as well. Basically, it's just a giant teaser. Hello,
Things are going to happen.
Things are
at some
happening,
point in the
everybody.
future. Something is
God,
going to
I'm so
happen to
excited for
you.
all of those.
Yeah.
We know some of them, and I'm excited for all of them.
And so I was pretty excited about that. I am, not was, current. And that's about it. I think we've got merch on the way, which will show up on our website, which is being revamped, and we're going to be able to be in spaces with people who are vaccinated very soon, and we'll tell you more about that later as well. And we're just really excited about the progress that we're making, so we get to spend more time with all of you. And that is it from me. So Tommy's now going to talk about
I'm just gonna extort you for grit to try and
Yeah.
get arms.
Okay.
Sorry, extortion is wrong. It's emotional blackmail.
I am an arms dealer.
Jeff Bezos of Grit.
How have you never played that character, Tommy?
Someone who's literally selling 7 arms.
Yes. How?
Hey, you want to
Okay.
see my van? It's full of arms.
Meet me behind the alley. Look in this trench coat.
All right. So, what Dan very and really honestly an inaccurate way was referring to is you can look up here in the top left corner of all of our little windows and you get to see how much grit each of us has. As the GM, I have some grit, and as each individual player, they have some grit. Grit is an expendable resource in the game of Manifest that allows you to manipulate your dice rolls. And you, the viewer, also have grit. Where you earn channel points that we call viewer grit. You earn it by just watching, by donating, by subbing, by following, all that good stuff. Repeat views, stuff like that. You accumulate this viewer grit and you can spend it to gift grit to either one of the players or myself, the GM. When you give grit, it sits in a little queue, and then when we get to it, we are able to plop it right into onto the screen here, and it increases the ways in which the characters can achieve things, or I can make things hard for them. You'll notice that my grit is a little bit cheaper than their grit, and if you think about it, when I spend grit, they get grit. Sometimes I spend like one instance of grit, and they all get grit. So it's like super discounted grit for them if you buy it for me.
Hold on, though. Explain what that instance is. That instance is I shoot all of you again twice.
If you don't think about it,
hey, Porter, did you fail that? Oh, you're dead now unless Gus can get you to Eloise. That's the instance that we're talking
You
about.
don't need to. There's a lot of noise from the peanut gallery over here. You don't need to worry about it. All you need to know,
Peanut gallery.
I trust you, the viewer, to manage your. I trust you, the viewer, to manage your own grit. So I do want to make sure, because I usually do this before we go live, but I do want to make sure I have everyone's grit totals correct. I start at 8, as with every episode. Dex, I have you at 6.
Yeah, that's correct.
Eloise, I have you at... Oh, I'll skip Eloise based on that look. Porter, I have you at 3.
yes.
Gus, I have you at 7.
Yeah.
And Eloise, I also have you at 3 if your character sheet is salvageable from the floor.
I had it open the whole time. Yes, I have 3 grit.
Okay, cool. Both Eloise and Porter go up to 4 grit as
Heck yeah!
Ryak gives Eloise a grit saying, do good stuff. And Fiddler Undone gives a grit to Porter with an emoji of Porter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
I forgot the sticker that I drew the other day
Oh, sure.
that I showed you guys.
Okay. So that's how it works. You just saw it right there. Oh, there you go. You're right, Ryak. The grid economy is in shambles. I think if I tax the viewers, I can distribute the grit wealth evenly.
Listen, I'm sitting over here. I'm trying to inject my grit into the economy, and the regulators over at Tommy keep telling me, "No, Dan, you're not allowed to spend your grit to give the team grit. That's not allowed. That's illegal."
He's also
deregulate
not
grit.
Income tax. Is grit or in real life?
Oh, I'd love to hear more on this, but we have
siloed.
I'd love to hear more about this, but we have sorry, we have to cut to a commercial break where we look at cool character art for these characters.
Give the comments.
Tell me what you didn't know about my grit.
Oh no!
The canon.
All right. There we go. Everything has been sorted out. No need to worry about anything. Everyone understands who's in charge. No. All right. Cool. So it is time for the actual play. Let's talk about what's happened so far. These 4 drifters have been investigating a strange symbol that they learned was a symbol of an underground organization called the Free People's Coalition. And that is a group of like freedom fighters who are basically trying to protect the rights of, or if not the rights, at least the lives of illuminated people in the territory of Fort Dearborn, which is becoming more and more anti-illuminated. And they've kind of apparently, according to Simon Lapidus, a brief former member of the FPC, according to him, they have kind of grown to protect anyone who the militia trods on in Fort Dearborn. They have been on this quest, trying to track down one Kenny Mathis, the leader of a group of bandits who apparently is associated with the FPC, who jumped these four drifters after murdering an innocent man and using his body as bait. And along their journey, they ran afoul of the 108th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade from the Fort Dearborn Militia, who are stationed in Brimstone Garrison. The 108th Battalion sent a or the 108th Brigade sent a battalion to occupy Waypoint, sort of pseudo-legally. And they were doing so. These drifters have come to the conclusion that the militia was doing so to track down a man named Jack Taylor, who had been turned into some horrible illuminated monster. And Jack Taylor also seemed to be affiliated with the FPC. So these four drifters have gathered all this information, have been given a quest from a dying gunslinger to return his guns to his guild hall, and they are now heading towards the settlement of Las Brasas, where they were told if they went to Suze's Saloon and ordered a drink called a Featherfall, they would be introduced to the members of the Free People's Coalition who operate in Las Brasas, or at least the ones that Simon Lapidus was aware of. Right now, we ended last session with them arriving in Waypoint. Eloise has split off from the group to work on to work at the De Castro stables. Gus has a dinner date, and Dex and Porter were approaching the LRC. I suppose there's only one last little bit of recap worth putting out, especially to anyone who is catching up on our YouTube, because our YouTube is a few episodes behind, so this information I don't think is on the YouTube yet. But they were attacked by a mercenary company who they have actually confirmed, they don't even suspect, they've confirmed, thanks to Eloise having direct communication with them, that that the Black Star Mercenary Company, an illegal mercenary company, was sent by Brimstone to kidnap Eloise and Gus, with a priority on Eloise. Due to some internal conflict between these four drifters, Eloise has ventured on her own path of solving this problem by reaching out directly to the head of Black Star Mercenary Company with her telepathic powers. Porter is in a difficult spot because the leader of Black Star, one man named Henry Fawcett, is in possession of a piece of proto-martyr technology that the Sheffield family, or at least a member of the Sheffield family, is extremely interested in adding to his collection of curiosities. And if Porter were to collect this proto-martyr technology, his debt to the family would be wiped clean, and he could return home to Markham's Landing to his lowercase family. Lowercase f family. So that is the full recap of all the things. We will pick up here with, I believe, Dex and Porter, who were walking up to the LRC tower. It's early. I think it's like right around noon-ish currently in Waypoint. Eloise is already working at the De Castro stables. She rolled 5 successes last episode. We will resolve that this episode. But yeah, Dex and Porter, you arrive at the LRC tower in Waypoint around the same time.
Sorry, real quick. I just realized Brimstone is the Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, and they literally make tonics that enhance your maneuvering.
They work in all sorts of fields, specifically maneuver enhancement.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. Do we see each other just entering the building at the same time, or just one of us get there first?
Well, so the LRC tower isn't something you enter. It's got a window where the operator is, and then the terminals are exterior with like little awnings over them.
All right.
But yeah, you both walk up to the tower at the same time. The person who is working the LRC right now is click. Yeah, it's gonna be Bobby Rockwell. So as you two kind of approach one after the other, he gives you a warm greeting, saying, "Welcome back into town."
Hello, Bobby. How is you?
I'm doing all right myself. But how are you? How's your trip? You two were gone for quite some time.
I can tell you it was a roller coaster ride, and this is just a stop on the way to continuing what we're working on at this juncture.
Did
we might not be hanging out for too much longer. We're planning on heading out.
And Ms. Reynolds and Mr. Gurley?
Oh, they're in town as well. They'll be joining us, I think.
Excellent. Well, then how can I be of assistance to you two?
If I can I grab a private terminal? I've got some messages I'd like to check.
Sure. Avoid Terminal 4. It's on the fritz, but the rest of them should be working fine. My apologies.
Oh, see if Elle would like to come over and maybe take a look at it. She could probably fix it up right quick.
If she's willing, but I'm sure I can get to it. It just started this morning. I just haven't had the time today. And nothing too terrible. Just the screen is malfunctioning a little bit.
Sure.
And Mr. Bailey?
I'll take Terminal 3 then.
Righto.
Just checking some messages. That's all.
Excellent. Latest issue of Light in the Darkness, a road to hell and back, if you're interested.
That's the one we picked up in Lawrenceburg, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate it. We actually picked it up at our last stop.
Fantastic. And then he goes back to working and lets you approach whatever terminal. Yeah, the two of you are able to interact with the terminals, no problem. What are you getting into?
You go first, Porter.
Porter's checking his messages. Yeah, he's checking his messages from Rund and anybody else that might want to be in contact with him.
You don't have any new message from Rund because you didn't send anything after she you checked it in Lonesburg, right? And then she hit you back with the offer from the family.
Right. I thought I responded trying to get instructions for what to do with the gifts that I have for them.
Oh,
or
sir.
Is that incorrect?
Sure. So you were like, I'll think about that could be true. I would believe that. I don't actually remember my own self if that was
true.
The last message you sent out. But yeah, either way, you had access to a terminal. So even if we didn't say it outright, if you responded with a put a pin in the offer from about the proto-martyr tech, but also what do you want to do with this stuff? Yeah, at the very least, I think she had said oh no, she asked you what your opinion of her was. She asked you, let's see. Yeah, she asked you what your opinion of Donovan was, and any information on the product you have. Because your original message didn't actually, I think, say that it was straight up tonics or anything like that.
I think that's correct.
You were just it's stuff, and Rund was like, okay, well, I don't know if it's stuff we're interested in. That's not my relationship with Donovan. What was your read on Donovan, and is this product worth our time? She asked you for an appraisal of the person in the situation, basically.
Sure. I will send her an accurate appraisal of Donovan, and I would probably downplay the efficacy of what I have. But using, whatever coded language I can, I can just tell her that it's tonics doing experiments of some kind, not necessarily the kind that the Sheffields might want to be involved with, because of various and sundry reasons. I don't think I'll tell her about Jack Taylor or anything like that, but I have evidence that other tonics that they have produced have been more harmful than helpful, if that makes sense.
Sure. Okay, so that's what you sent from Lonesburg. So you come back. The response to that is basically, you can keep it.
All right. Good.
She goes in a little bit to, like, you already know this a bit, but she kind of brings it up again. Basically her tone is something along the lines like, who does Staff Sergeant Donovan think we are? The O'Malleys? Because the only family that deals in like narcotics and like drugs is the O'Malley family. So basically, because you gather that because you said that you're not 100% sure if the tonics coming out of Brimstone are stable or safe to take, that immediately cuts off the idea of them being like, well, maybe we'll get it just to use for ourselves. It's like, it's a combat enhancement drug, it sounds like. But instead, she's like, nah, if there's any chance that it's not clean, like, that's fine. We have our own people who can make stuff like that for our people, for like our members. So she's like, consider it a bonus. And if Donovan has the gall to try to approach you, feel free to to put her in her place.
Will do. And I think the message that I send back is a thank you, a request for an update on my lowercase family, and I will also send kind of a warning of, like, if the O'Malleys might be interested in something like this, perhaps you should keep an eye on their pathways, because that could lead to something destructive from them that might not be good for any of the families.
Sure. Yeah, and so you type that up, you send it off. Anything else you're doing with the LRC?
I don't think so.
Okay. Dex, what are you up to?
I don't expect that Isabel has gotten back to me, because she hasn't for a while, and also her job takes her away from the LRC towers for quite a while. But I send her a message asking for advice, and I lay out Porter's situation, and I say, I know the point of this is for me to like do it on my own, but I don't know what to do. I'm asked, please help.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, there's no response to your initial message asking how she knew that you were ready to head out. And as you type out the other one, send it out. You're not sure when she'll have the chance to see it. No other messages, because the only other you have, like,
I don't know.
I guess you have you don't have a message for a response to your message that you sent out from Lonesburg that was like, hey, we got jumped by Black Star.
Yeah.
Which you at least got a verbal response to, and you understood that it was because they weren't going to have an LRC conversation about you working against Brimstone in any way. But yeah, so otherwise, no other messages. You're able to send that out. You both finish around the same time. I think Dex, you might finish just a little bit quicker than Porter.
The last thing is that the Grey Riders are expecting to pick us up, right? That's already been established from Lonesburg.
You're thinking of... Oh, no, you are thinking of the Grey Riders. Yeah. You sent a message to Selma, basically, because you can contact Nomad Packs, like, based on, like, they have, like, an LRC that is, like, their contact point. But you knew Selma personally, so you sent a message to Selma directly. You got, like, pricing and stuff from her. They're expecting to pick you up. You already took care of that in Lonesburg. And she got you a pretty decent deal. at least cheap, technically cheaper than what you had for from the road banners, and it's twice the length of the journey. So yeah, so you both finish up just about around the same time. Dex a little bit quicker than Porter.
Yeah, I'll wait for Porter. It seems rude to not.
Good business all wrapped up. Although I probably have to come up with an answer for Rund sometime soon, but that can wait until Las Brasas, I think.
I guess. I don't know how it works. Couldn't you just give them the thing? I don't want to get into it. I don't know how it works. I don't want to speculate.
Well, the thing that we got from Brimstone, they looks like she's not interested in, or the Sheffields aren't interested in. But as far as stealing the filament, I still am undecided on that, and I think I have. Actually, I want to talk to Elle one more time about it, at least.
As we start walking, I say to Porter, I would not have that conversation anywhere public.
Why do you say that? I mean, I know there's tension between the two of you, but I assume that was because she is on my side.
No, it's because this is the site of the largest battle in the proto-martyr crisis, and people might not take it well.
That makes sense. Right. Yeah. As much as Badlanders talk about it, sometimes I forget that it happened here.
Yeah, we walk by the statue.
Yeah, there's a
statue.
There's a statue behind the Free State Bed and Brew in that little courtyard that commemorates the people who died.
Always like that fellow, and the hook thing looks great.
We should figure out rooms, right? You and Elle give up yours, right?
Right, I can't imagine they have the same suites, but I like the Free State. I wouldn't mind staying there for a little longer if they got the space for us.
Sure. Let's go get it squared away.
Cool. So yeah, the three of you pop into Free State. Two of you. There's not another. Don't look over your shoulder. Yeah, the two of you are able to go. You pop into Free State. It's just like you left it. And Porter, you get a warm welcome from Alberto Arias, who is working the bar. Typical small talk as you enter in. He asks you, business good?
Going as well as can be expected, I suppose. How's it here?
Same as before, a little quieter than when you left, but you need a couple rooms? Are you we rented out your suite, but we might have something comparable if you're looking for a prolonged stay.
Oh, just looking for a place for the night. I don't need the full suite. Although, is Elle's suite still available?
No, she canceled that when y'all left. She went ahead and closed down her room. It is it is available. She's not still using it.
Right. That's what I figured. I'd like to get that for her tonight, if at all possible.
All right, and so one of our better suites. So if you're just doing it for a night, I suppose we could do it for 2 spurs.
Oh, I appreciate it. Do you have perhaps a smaller room nearby? I could just pop in. I promise I'd and anything, if that could be thrown in for part of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, is it typically? I mean, our overnight rooms aren't necessarily. A lot of times they ain't private. But if you're wanting, if you have some people, I mean, Mr. Bailey, was it?
Yeah.
Is it the two of you? Is there anyone else who's staying?
What do you think? Do you think Gus is gonna make it back tonight?
I don't remember if Gus did not come back the last time he went on a date with Saoirse, right?
Correct. They went to the Golden Spike, and then they went back to her place above the Point the Way pub.
I think Gus is probably settled.
If he ends up coming back, we can figure it out when that happens. Would you mind bunking with me, perhaps?
It's fine. Sounds good.
Cheers.
All right, for just that one room, then it's going to be one additional spur, and we'll have Ms. Reynolds' key here. This is yours, and then he reaches out his hands for 3 spurs.
So you give him to him.
Of course, comes with food and drink. So can I get you anything?
Oh, I'd love. There's an ale that you had last time I was here. I've been craving it. What was the name of that one?
Peraspera.
Yeah, that's right. That's the one.
It's one of the more popular ones. Otherwise, the Copperbird stout is pretty great as well. But whichever you prefer. Peraspera for you. Mr. Bailey, water, juice, anything for you?
You have the ice water from Spring Mill?
We do, yeah. And he goes over and like grabs that out of the fridge and like uncorks a very fancy water bottle and pours it. I mean, fancy. It's just a nice like big water bottle. It's not like.
I mean, they've taken a glass bottle for water, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and gets you some food. You guys are able to kind of eat like a little bit. Have a quick lunch and drink.
I'll give Porter a spur for the room.
Oh, I appreciate it. Not necessary, but
It's not like I'm doing anything with him.
fair enough.
Gus, you were told by Saoirse to meet up with her later in the evening because she's working a night shift at the pub because everyone, all of her people are useless.
Yeah, she says that every day.
So what are you getting into with the rest of your day? Anything in particular, or do you end up just like joining Dex and Porter at the Free State?
Yeah, probably too late for free cookies. So, well, you know what? Maybe he goes and gets a pack for a bundle of pastries for the road, and sees if. Oh, I don't remember her name, but she had a leg. I think there was something about a leg.
There was an old lady. She's not there right now.
Okay, well, if I don't see her, it's fine.
But Earl's Hayes does remember you and doesn't charge you for the pastries on account of the fact that, and this isn't actually anything that's super special to you. This is how small businesses on Manifest operate. Like, he basically just either mentally or literally runs a tab until you've bought enough things that he needs another spur from you. So when you come back, he remembers you. You actually walk in. He looks up and goes, "Mr. Gurley!" And as you come up, he gives you a big, firm like handshake and like slaps you on like the shoulder.
It's Earl, right?
Yeah, Earl Hayes.
Hey there, Earl. So good to see you again. So good to smell your work again.
Well, what can I help you out to? I mean, you missed we're out of freebie cookies for the time being, but we got plenty of things left. Plenty of things. We're getting a little low on cinnamon rolls, but beyond that, you look around. You let me know what you want. Welcome back to town.
Hey, you know what you make best, but do toss in one of those cinnamon rolls. If everybody's eating them, I gotta try one out.
I'll toss in two.
Oh, Earl, you are absolutely the best. Just wanted some breakfast. We're heading out tomorrow on a just came into town on a nomad pack, going out on another nomad pack. Sort of a whirlwind. Be nice to have at least, a nice breakfast inside the little trailer.
Which pack you riding with?
Oh, something about riders, I think.
What,
That's probably not very specific.
heading out tomorrow. What, Gray Riders?
Gray riders, that sounds right.
Well,
It's
yeah.
all sort of like all their cars are sort of like gray or like brown. They probably were silver.
Hey,
Sort of gray.
yeah, they call it on account of the coats they wear.
Oh,
But
coats. The Badlands?
yeah, I guess they go fast enough. It's just like air conditioning.
Oh, I guess so. Huh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, no, they run a tight ship. Should be a pretty nice journey. Where are you heading to?
Oh, out somewhere in the Badlands, this place called Las Brasas.
Oh, I've been there a couple times. Nice town.
How is it? I haven't heard much about it.
Oh, well, I mean, they got a lot of, if you're looking for work as a miner, that's one of the premier places to be. They got more than a few,
wasn't, but maybe I will.
more than a few mining companies and a whole association of metal workers that are based out of there. That's Las Brasas' claim to fame.
Oh, emphasis on claim, I guess.
It's exactly. I mean, that's from what I understand, just some people kind of bumped up against the punched peaks and just kind of started drilling into them from the side, and that's Las Brasas.
Hey, sometimes if it works, it works. I guess I don't. Good for them,
Well, if you're going on a long journey with a nomad pack all the way to Las Brasas, I mean, even with the Gray Riders, that's going to be almost a week's time. You're going to need just a little bit extra here. Hold on, and he pulls out like a half gallon of milk and sets it on the counter for it. He goes, now it's counterintuitive, but you ain't gonna want to refrigerate that because once you start that process, it's just gonna need that all the time, and they ain't gonna have that. So you just go ahead and drink it warm. It's good warm.
Oh, you ain't got to sell me on warm milk, Earl. I was raised on the stuff. I mean, look at me.
I thought you might like it. I thought you might, but that'll take care of you. I mean, they might give you a snack or two along the road, but well, I mean, between the pastries and the milk, hopefully you have a decent journey of it. You have a good time, Mr. Gurley.
Thank you so much, Earl. You are the absolute kindest and best baker I know. So always so good to visit you.
He shakes your hand once more, and then like one of his buzzers goes. He goes, oh, and like runs over and like pulls out like some stuff. He's like, oh, ha, ha. It's like making new cinnamon rolls.
I guess takes a long whiff and then like just walks out.
Yeah, and then unless there's anything else anyone wants to get into throughout the day, I think
When are the Grey Riders supposed to arrive?
they're arriving tomorrow morning.
Before sort of business, or is there time for business in the morning?
Oh no, they're not showing up like pre-sunrise or right at sunrise or anything like that. Like
Okay,
you'll have time. Like Waypoint will have woken up before they roll through.
cool.
I think Porter's gonna work on a toxin just for these last few hours while he's sitting.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of
is
toxin are you making?
I'm looking for a remove sense toxin, which I believe is tier 3.
That sounds accurate.
No, that's tier 2.
Tier
Sorry,
2.
I'm wrong.
Yep, tier 2.
I'm wrong. Right. Right. I am gonna do remove sense, and I'd like for it to be extra.
Oh, okay. So you're making a tier 3 because you're making an extra potent remove sense. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's a tier 3. So it's gonna, you can get started on it, but it's gonna take you, unless you're cutting corners, it's gonna take you 3 days per roll.
Since it's still, even though it's a negative quality, it's still a tonic, so I use Pharmacist. Is that correct?
So yeah, Pharmacist has, Pharmacist also gives you a +1. So yes, that part of Pharmacist works. But the whole like choosing your side effect isn't a thing because of a toxin. Right.
You've done it.
Makes sense.
You chose it. You chose your side effect.
It's negative.
The side effect of hydrating yourself with this tonic is you go blind.
Good. So I should have a +1 from that and a +1 from the med kit, and I will roll. All right. Let's take you, because I still have 1 reliability. Oh, excellent. That's 4 hits.
Okay. So that is 4 out of 6 successes that you need to complete this thing. So go ahead and write down your crafting journal that you're working on that tonic. The failure threshold for class 3 is 4, so you've only done 1 of 4 rolls for the failure threshold. So you're still well within range to make this excellent quality as long as you get 2 successes next time you roll. You'll be able to roll 2 in the next after about 3 days time. So you basically get the processes started. You go to your room, yours and Dex's room. You set up your med kit and like get like a centrifuge starts spinning. And you can check on that like in the next like day or so to like start messing with it and then put it in again.
Excellent. And if I finish it in 2 rolls, will it be excellent quality? Is that correct?
That is correct. And then the only other thing is, which sense are you planning on removing with this tonic?
So I had an interesting thought, but I don't know how different it is from paralyzed. I'd like to remove the sense of touch. Which I think even if it's like your entire body goes numb, so it just kind of makes you useless on doing things.
Yeah. So I think, Addy, you have the final thing on this. I think is remove sense action only works for taste, sight, and hearing, right? It doesn't affect touch. You choose one of those 3. Or is there a thing for touch where it like gives negatives?
There isn't one for touch, but there is one where there's the taste one can also be like mute.
Oh, okay. So it can basically, you can make it so they are blind, mute, or deaf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could make it so
In
they
that
can't taste
case-
anything.
Okay. So that makes sense then. Does it? Although, if you remove the sense of taste, isn't that also the same thing as removing the sense of smell? The same kind of cells. Just something to think about.
Taste is no, because taste is enhanced by smell.
Yeah, I have
You
a
can still smell,
friend,
but not taste.
Yeah, I have a friend who actually doesn't have a sense
Vice
of
versa.
smell, but can taste.
Difficult.
They enhance each other.
All right,
but
fine.
Are
Since it's still tier 3, and I don't have to change my role, I'll make it a paralyzing tonic.
Okay, cool.
It was just a thought. I thought it'd be funny, some wobbly fucker with a gun being like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
So instead of an extra potent remove sense tonic, it is a paralyzed tonic, not extra potent.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So mark that down. You are 4 out of 6 successes on that with 1 roll. So mark that all in your journal, and make sure you mark the tier of it, because that will, next time you roll on it, make it easy to keep track of. Okay, cool. So yeah, Porter gets to that. Gus, you can just walk about town if you want. You can meet up with Dex. The evening does come. So unless anyone has anything else they want to jump into before the evening comes, we jump to Gus returning to the Point the Way pub.
Yeah, stroll in. Oh God. Yeah, I stroll in around the time that she told me to, or it'd be a little deader. It's a little after Gus's bedtime, but he can manage.
Yeah, it is quiet. There's only one person at one of the tables outside. No one's inside. And she's actually she's got like there's like a shuttered window with like a countertop that leads into the kitchen, and she's got that countertop opened up. It actually opens all the way to make a big open space into the kitchen if it's like pushed out of the way. So what is usually like a windowed backdrop behind the bar is actually like an open backdrop into the kitchen, and she's just there like working on some stuff, cleaning some of the space back there. You walk in, she gives you a smile, and pours you a pint.
Oh, thanks. Wait, no. Can I help you with any of that?
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't invite you here to work. I invited you here to talk, but well, I mean, if you don't like being idle, I do have the vent there above that furnace. It's it's done. Are you any good with hardware?
I mean, depends on what needs doing. I can push or pull hardware pretty good.
All right, well, I can work with that. Here, you go ahead and enjoy that pint. I have a couple other things I gotta tend to, but before the night's over, I'm gonna have you push this thing up so that I can get the screws aligned.
Yeah.
Gus, I can operate simple machines, girly.
Not after too many pints.
Yeah, and then she just like casually, like she does as she goes to start working on things, she just asks you about your trip and about you and about what's been going on, and just strikes conversation with you.
Oh man, yeah, I think Gus is a little bit torn because he doesn't know how much he can say about what they've been getting up to. I forget if she knows he's illuminated. I think she does, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you guys have spent time off camera. She could know.
Right. Yeah, I think she does. And so that makes us feel a little better about opening up about, well, someone trying to kidnap us. That's bad news. And how I don't know how parties of the team and how how well everybody works together, how yeah, and all of that. I think he's holding back a little bit because he wants to talk a little bit about how like he realized he was projecting a lot of stuff about him never having a son onto Dex. It sort of makes him uncomfortable in this context. But she probably reads him like a book.
Yeah. No, yeah. She she sits down after a little bit and is just listening to you, and she goes, I don't know where Fort Dearborn's headed. I mean, they've always been a little overreaching when it comes to people's freedoms. It's a privilege living in a place like Waypoint that can sit in Fort Dearborn territory and still have its own mind. But I always, hell, 20 years ago, I saw the end of the world rise up and get beaten down by drifters in Waypoint. And I can't imagine that Fort Dearborn's scarier than the Proto-Martyrs. So,
Yeah.
I have to hope that somewhere down the line, some people are going to knock some sense into the right people's heads and we'll sort it out. Until then, I mean, you don't need me to tell you to be safe. And if you got people after you, there ain't no shame in running.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. I got a feeling that we're gonna be the ones to knock the sense into them.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's nice to know. It's nice to remember that there were folks before that needed sense knocking into them, and there's a group of folks that did it.
Well, I don't know how long you have to be a citizen of Fort Dearborn to run for a position in legislation, but Alder Gurley has a fun little ring to it.
Alder. I couldn't even spell Alder.
But there's more to it. More to that. I mean, it's hard to find your way in a situation like that when there's tension within your ranks. I mean, I know drifters, they get close out there on the road. What's eating away at you?
I don't know. I got mad and yelled at Dex about something. And then that was fine and everything got resolved and I apologized to him, but I realized why I was yelling at him, and that was sort of more troubling. To me, I think.
Well, it ain't.
Uh
Just because he ain't your blood don't mean he's not your kid. He's someone you watch after.
yeah, okay. God, you're so good at that. How you just That's wild. Is my brain written on my forehead?
No more than most.
Jeez, you must be have way better reading eyesight than I do. I I don't know. Yeah, and he ain't my kid, and he's right about it. But I don't know. It got me thinking about. I don't know. It got me thinking about what I don't know what the sort of things are that I want, sort of out of life, and I'm loving. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to travel a little more before being embroiled in mortal peril. Um, this is where we find ourselves.
Well, it's no surprise that a farm boy who ain't ever left Winona Valley didn't realize that travel on manifest and mortal peril go hand in hand.
Yeah, that they seem to do. Yes, but I don't know. The more I get out here and more I see things, and I'd love to keep seeing things. I don't want to stop seeing things. The more I sort of miss, the way things were on the farm. Where, and when I yelled at Dex and then I apologized and like sort of realized why. I realized that I sort of missed that family, that sense of everybody caring for each other and working towards something. And I'm getting that out on the road, but I don't know. This sort of thing ain't supposed to last forever, I'm so old. Look at me. Look at how old I am. Just bent out of shape.
Yeah, I mean, you
Running
only got
down.
another, like, what, 40 years, 60 years in you? Basically dead.
At least. If I live to be 80 more years, then I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Yeah, just I don't know. Got me thinking about family, and that got me all thinking.
Well, I mean, that's something for you to sort out with your, what do the nomads call it? Roadkin?
They call it roadkin?
Yeah, a family you make on the road.
Well, yeah, I guess that's sort of a roadkin. It's fun. I like that. Nomads sure are interesting, huh?
That they are, but the people you're traveling with, they're people with their own goals and their own troubles, and ain't no one who takes the life of a drift shoe who doesn't have some amount of empty in them, right? And if you're lucky, you find people who just kind of fit together like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah, I guess
sounds
so.
like y'all are contenders for that kind of thing. I mean, most drifters, they take a job to drop some cargo off in Las Brasas, and then they part ways. Maybe work together a time and two again, but They don't swear an oath to a gunslinger and follow him through hell and high water. I mean, this Dex kid, he's got to be something special. More than just special to you. He's got to be something special. And I mean, I've been watching Ms. Reynolds across the street since this afternoon, and she is talented. I understand now why Dalton was a little worried about maybe putting her on the payroll.
Yeah, I mean, look at her go. Hey, good work out there, Al.
Just head pops up in the darkness. You don't know where it comes from, so you just kind of wave and go back.
Yeah, she really is something else. They all are. But, and yeah, we fit together real tight. Just, I don't know. I think you sort of hit it where nobody goes out drifting if they ain't got something empty in them. I definitely did and definitely do. I had that sort of empty thing after, Mom and Pa and my sister went. But I don't know. Dex is gonna go off. He's gonna be a gunslinger. Ain't no gunslingers walking around with a posse of 3 weirdos walking behind them. Gunslinger sort of rolls up and does their own thing.
Oh, sweet, sweet Winona Valley.
It is beautiful. Elle, she's a genius. She was telling me about bikes that ride up in the air.
Oh yeah. I thought she might be from Ion Harbor, technically gifted as she is.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know that for sure. It's Porter's so good at tonics. He's gonna be like a doctor for some town someday. I don't know. Everyone's gonna sort of move on. We're all gonna be friends, of course, and we're gonna ride each other back and forth, and we're gonna talk about the latest Light in the Darkness. Like, eventually I gotta find something that'll fill that empty in me, and that ain't them. I'm just trying to figure out what that'll be.
Oh. I mean, if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. But sometimes the people you travel with, that's what it is. And I think if you're feeling a disconnect between you and your roadkin, you ought to figure out what it is they need too.
Hey,
because if what they need and what you need are pointing in the same direction, then you just keep traveling together. That's how it works.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. I want to figure out what their empties are. Figure out what I think we have more pressing matters, but sometimes you're on a trailer and there's simply no more windows to fix, and then you can talk to each other about dreams.
Ain't no hand doesn't shoot straighter once you got your heart sorted out straight.
Hey, wait, is that gunslinger? Is that a gunslinger thing?
She gives you.
It sounds like one of Dex's like gunslinger things.
She
instead of instead of heart, they say like soul or like bullet.
She gives you a wink and goes, "Now you know what I need. I need you to hold that vent up so that I can screw them screws in."
Yeah, the vent.
That's what the kids are calling it these days.
Yeah, and I mean, if you ask her if she's a gunslinger, like outright, she says no. But she does like toy with it. She's like, but that don't mean I ain't met one. And
yeah, the sheriff.
Right. And then you have a nice little evening, wind down. She tells you all the gossip from around town. She tells you about Maggie Joe, and the fact that there was like, it turns out that Steve's the father. She was thinking maybe it was
Steve.
She was thinking maybe it wasn't going to be her husband because it didn't line up with the wedding, but then they were just keeping it from their parents because they're lame. So it was less juicy than what she wanted.
But isn't it so wholesome and right?
Well,
matches
it's
of
something,
things
I guess.
work out.
That's one way to look at it. Well, I see it. People want to have a kid. Let them have a kid. If they're dumb enough to do it, they're going to do it one way or another.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then she wraps up the night, and even I think, I mean, she is extremely deft at communicating with you, Gus, and even with like there's no chance at the end of this evening where you actually think that you're going to be staying the night with her. She just
Gus is not trying to spend
Yeah.
the night.
Yeah, and it's like she doesn't like beat around the bush or anything. It's like she just kind of like mentions, like, she asks you where you're staying, and then says like, yeah, you know, I'm not looking to have company tonight, like that kind of thing. And like it's just like, it's the way talking to her is always easy. It just kind of rolls right over. Like, she, you know, you guys have an extremely good time. She does give you a kiss goodbye, and then says, "You
I
be
think Gus
safe."
is relieved.
Yeah, she gives you a kiss goodbye as she's closing down the Point the Way pub for the evening. It's extremely past your bedtime, Gus. It is late. It is like 4 or 5 in the morning. And she, you know, locks up and then looks to like the little stairs up the back that lead to her place, and then says, "All right, well, you go ahead and you hit the road, Gus Gurley, and you go on some adventure and bring me back a story." And she gives you a kiss.
Absolutely. Always such a good time, Saoirse. You'll know first thing when I'm back.
And she goes upstairs and watches you go.
I bet.
And when you get to
You need
the
to roll like endure
for
for not getting
It's
much
past
sleep.
his bedtime.
for past your bedtime to
Past
see
my bedtime.
to see if you make it to home.
Is there like a recliner in the Point the Way pub that Gus could just like fall asleep in?
Yeah, you're able to make it back to Free State. I assume that's where you're heading, because I guess you could go anywhere. Where do you go, Gus?
Yeah, if I think everyone's at Free State, I'm going to Free State.
Okay. Yeah. When you show up, Alberto is off shift but there. And when you walk up, he looks up to Maya and says, "Hey, Maya, have a room." Gurley, Bailey and Mr. Janus, they got a room a bit ago. Ms. Reynolds ain't come through. We were thinking they bought her a room.
Oh, she's probably just gonna work tonight, I bet.
Oh. And Maya goes,
"How big is Elle's bed?"
Maya goes, "Well, if the room is paid for, you could use it, Alberto." And Alberto's like, "Steven and Amanda won't care. And if Elle shows up, we'll just kick him out. You good with that, Mr. Gurley? If Elle shows up, you get your own room."
Just wake me up and move me to like a couch or something. Just roll me out of there.
All right. Yeah. Should be fine, Maya. They all been traveling together for a little bit, from what I hear. And Maya goes, "All right. The bed is our largest bed, so I hope it suits you, sir."
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go right there right now. Do I need to do anything else, or can I go up there?
It comes with food and drink.
Yeah. It always comes with food and drink. Can I go and sleep?
You can go up there.
Always got me, bud.
Maya like nods and goes, all right, enjoy your stay. And Alberto, you're sure? Yeah, it's fine.
Night, y'all.
All right, you sleep tight. Yeah, you go in and oh my god, this room is so big. It has its own bathroom.
Oh my god, is that a bathroom?
You walk in and you look like you're like instinctually looking where you think the bed will be in like a relatively large like inn like room in an inn, and then like you have to look like another like past like a little archway into where the actual bed is.
God dang, this is pretty nice.
And you fall right asleep. And yeah, the night passes on. Eloise.
Huh?
So you're staying up all night working
Correct.
at the stables. You are told that you don't have to work overnight, but also they don't stop you. You rolled 5 successes, which means the task list that Dalton left you is done before Gus calls your name from across the street in the middle of the night. Right. And then you just think, okay, well, I want to make good on it. So you just start finding things to do. And what you do is every single vehicle that the stables has to be serviced, you finish servicing. And then you still have time to burn, and you choose to keep going. You just are like, I'm not going to sleep. I don't want to sleep. I want to, because your goal is to basically earn as much credit as possible.
I like go up on the roof and like fix the roof, and like the garage door is squeaky, and I like fix that.
Actually, when you get to the roof, you realize that about a third of their solar panels are busted. They just haven't. They've just been broken for a while. And if you want to spend 2 tech cubes to repair the parts of their solar panels, because they didn't have the parts.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, so you do that, and then
so many tech cubes.
Morning rolls around. I do need you to roll endure for me.
Oh, sure.
As you are staying up all night. But as you basically a little bit after you finish fixing the roof, you like climb down, you go and fix like the squeaky garage thing, and then you finally stop and like just like drink a little water, and like you're sitting there, and then a very sleepy Zachariah DeCastro steps out to go like tend to the animals and sees you standing out back. What did you roll?
3 successes.
3 successes? Yeah. Okay, cool. No hit point damage. Okay. So yeah, Zachariah walks out, and he looks like he like dunked his head in some water or took a shower or something. And he's like wiping in his face and like putting his hair back, and like he looks like he's just very recently cleanly shaven, and he's like pulling a shirt up and like buttoning it up, and then sees you and he goes, Ms. Reynolds, you've been working all night?
Yes, I have been, Mr. DeCastro.
Dalton put you up to that? What, is he testing you?
No, he legitimately told me to go home and didn't. He told me to go home.
You should have done that.
Oh no, I'm fine. I kept finding one more thing to do, so I just kept doing.
Well, I mean, appreciate you. I guess swing by before you're leaving today, right?
Yeah.
Swing by and check in with Dalton. He doesn't usually get up this early. He sleeps in late. It's like the sun's not even up yet. And he's like, he sleeps in so late.
Actually, I was hoping to catch you, so I'm actually pretty glad that I have you for a minute. If I could walk with you.
Sure. I'm just gonna check the pens. I gotta go out and back of the field, and there's a fence that is well. Every once in a while we get Nache, and we got one in a couple days ago, and it done bust up the fence. So,
oh sure,
gotta refix that again. But yeah, let's walk. Let's walk for a bit. I got time before I head back there. But you sure you're good to walk? You looking a little.
I'm like starting to get sleepy, but I figure I'll just sleep on the we're taking a nomad pack, so I figured there's not gonna be anything to do anyway.
All right.
So
Well, what you want to talk about? What the horse you dropped off?
yeah.
Sinclair's the name, right?
Yeah.
Hell of a beast.
He is. But he's what I wanted to talk about. So there's like a little bit of danger in like what we're going to do, and enough danger that like there's like a decent chance that maybe I don't come back.
All right.
And if that happens, I was hoping that instead of selling Sinclair, you might take him on as a favor to me.
Take him on. I mean, he ain't a field horse. As far as I can tell, that horse, he's a drifter's horse through and through.
Or maybe give him to the sheriff or something. Somebody's going to take care of him for real. I know the sheriff's horse is real old and Sinclair's real good, so.
Yeah. Sheriff's old horse Emmett is why I gotta fix that fence. That son bitch always seems to find a way to roam about town, no matter how much I try to pen him up. So I can't let anything tip over. Well, Sheriff's got a horse, but I catch your meaning. I'll make sure he stays in town.
Okay. Yeah, he's we're gonna return him to he's a gunslinger's horse, and we were gonna return him to the guild hall that we're heading towards, and then it turned out we got real turned around and have to go somewhere else, and I don't know if I'm gonna come back. So I was since I wouldn't ask anybody to make that trek. If he's just good and taken care of, I think that's probably enough.
Ain't that something? Gunslinger's horse, you say?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. And he goes and like slides like the barn door open, and like walks in like to the horse pen. Like the horse is already awake and kind of eating, and you see Sinclair, sitting there like drinking some water. Looks up like dripping at the mouth. Sees you, kind of shakes his head a little bit, and he is in a pen with an extremely old horse. Who has a cloudy, one of his eyes is cloudy. And he goes, Zachariah leans against it as like Sinclair walks up and to have you like pet his head. And he goes, there's the sheriff's old horse. Emmett's the name. Real crafty son of a bitch. Usually horses, they ain't want to get into Emmett's pen, but Sinclair did a tug, and I thought I'd give it a shot. He's been peeds in a pod all night, from what I saw.
Well, he's I'm not really a animal person per se, but I kind of, I think he's special, so.
Well, while you're away, I'll sit here and hold out hope that Sinclair is going to be a good influence on Emmett instead of Emmett being a bad influence on Sinclair.
Honestly, I hope so too. I don't know enough to know either way, but Sinclair's real good. So.
Yeah, Emmett is still like a healthy looking but old horse. He's got a lot of gray in his face, and his like one good eye like looks over to you, and he like puts his like ears back, and like he doesn't like glare at you, but he watches you.
He knows in another life he kicked me in the face.
He's here to finish the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he's a good caretaker to Emmett, then that can be his job. Otherwise, I'll keep him healthy. I'll keep him safe.
Thank you. And maybe I will come back and it'll be fine. But
I'm sure you will. I look forward to it.
You gotta have somebody make those solar panels still work.
Did you fix the dang solar panels? They've been out for a month.
Yeah, I just had the parts on hand, so I just climbed up there and just did
You
it.
just climbed up there and did it. Ms. Reynolds, I have to tell you something. We can't afford to pay you enough if you're going to work overnight and bring your own materials.
Well, you could pay me in kind for taking care of Sinclair.
Well, solar panels will definitely get you till you come back.
Okay. That's all I need.
All right, you go get some sleep, young lady. I got work to do.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. DeCastro. Yeah.
And he leads you out and he like gets on like a tractor as you leave, and he goes, "Safe travels, Ms. Reynolds. I'm sure I'll find 5 more things to break before you make it back, so be well." And then he rides down the field towards the busted fence.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, so is it still before like Waypoint's up and alive?
No, Waypoint is waking up right now.
Okay.
Dalton just sleeps in.
Dalton sleeps in.
Can you imagine a guy who sleeps until 7:45 in the morning?
I cannot. Canonically, Eloise is a late waker. So, but yeah, so I will reach into the wagon, the shoot, I have it written down.
Porter's wagon.
Yeah, but it has a name, Ramblin' Retail.
Ramblin' Retail.
And grab out my bag of stuff, and I wanted to head over to Loretta Rose's.
Oh, Rose Blacksmithing. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so Rose Blacksmithing. Oh, I have a map. Bam. It's the first time we've been there.
The map.
It is number 12. So you walk up from the DeCastro stables, past the crossroads, past the clinic, and actually Loretta Rose's blacksmith is right across the street from the Free State Bed and Brew.
That's convenient.
And you walk up. So Loretta's shop is pretty sturdy looking. It's definitely like one of the more like hardy structures in town. Like none of them are made out of like, just like panels of like light, grade wood or anything like that. But like hers is like close to akin to a bunker, in its structural integrity without like looking like garish in the middle of town. And you know that Loretta lives there. And as you walk in, the lights are kind of dim. There's not really any windows, though there are a couple like vents leading outside that let like a little bit of light in. But most of the light on the interior, besides a few like lamps and some like dim lighting, most of the light comes from the forge that is in the center of her shop. It's this like deep red. It's like it's not really lined up. It's like not designed like it is a shop that you shop at. You've now walked into a workshop. Like just directly in the street, it says Rose Blacksmithing. You walk in, you walk down some stairs, and you are in like in a forge, in a workshop. Like there's some stuff there, and some of them have prices on them, but most of the stuff is just like on racks, like off to the side. There's weapons, there's armor, there's materials, but it's not like organized as if it was retail to be browsed. Right. And Loretta Rose, who is about early 70s years old, is in a corner. She's like quenching some like burning metal, and then like sets it on a rack as you come in, and steam rises up like around her. It looks like she's been working for a little, at least an hour at this point. She's got beads of sweat covering her hard lined dark skin. Her like eyes are like almost beady with several wrinkles as if she's like just been squinting like nonstop for about like 20 years. And her face has just kind of lined its way to like match that. And she kind of looks at you with this hard expression. She's got wiry gray hair that is braided on the sides and then pulled up into a ponytail on like the top hairs are. And she looks to you, small in stature, actually. You're not very, you're like average size, Eloise? Yeah, she's shorter than you then. She's like maybe 5'2", 5'3". And she looks over to you with some beady eyes and goes, "Ms. Reynolds, right?"
Hello, Miss Rose.
"Welcome. How can I help?"
I
Ping!
have.
Ping!
All right. I actually have some ordnance that I thought you might be interested in purchasing. Most of it is excellent quality.
All right. Well, lay it on the table over there.
Okay.
She like gestures with her hammer over to a table. She keeps working as you lay it out. Like even just stepping a little bit more into the shop, like from where the stairs are, it was already hot when you walked in. It gets even hotter as you go in. Like the interior of this place is swelteringly hot. It's kind of ridiculous that like a 70-something-year-old woman just like works in this place in these conditions all day. It's just like what she's comfortable with, I guess. As she finishes her work as you like finish laying out whatever you're laying out. And then she like stretches her back a little bit. She's got like just the slightest hunch, which makes her appear even shorter than she is. And she just like stretches her back a little bit. And as she does, like you can see like the muscles in her back like are just, they like rival Gus's. And she like stretches her back a little bit and then like goes back to like her slightly hunched over form and like walks over to look at what you got. And she goes, "Let's see what it is then." And what is it that you are offering Loretta Rose?
Sure. So it's 3-let firearms, excellent quality with standard extended mags. 2 medium firearms with full standard full auto and standard extended mags. 3 lat melee weapons. And 8 lat grenades.
How many medium firearms?
And also a medium grenade, but I don't know if she wants it.
Okay.
You're muted on Discord, Tommy.
Oh, I know. Damn it. Hold on. The chat can hear me. Okay, this is hard because my number pad that I use to type up on my calculator also mutes me on Discord.
Oops.
This is fine.
The age-old question.
This is fine. All right, so 3 light firearms, excellent quality. What else?
Standard 2 standard medium firearms.
Okay.
3 excellent quality lat melees. 8 lat grenades. 1 medium grenade.
Okay. All right, and then grenades. How many grenades?
8 lat grenades. We talked a little bit earlier about what that is. So it 40 for, so about half that.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I didn't know because it's weird. Grenades are weird.
Not that weird.
I mean, the purchasing.
Math. Not sense of grenades.
Correct. Oh, they're also incendiary, which I didn't mention. But
Oh no!
but I haven't taken any of that into account for all of the.
Yeah, but with grenades, it's slightly different because incendiary have their own price. I'm muted again.
You how to save
Aha.
yourself from this?
Haha. Yeah. But grenades, they all have different prices. So incendiary grenades are a different price than regular grenades. Is all. Okay.
Mhm.
So. Okay. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know if the viewers, but and we can just icon for Tommy like deafening and muting himself just like keeps popping on and off as he does the math. Hard. Also
Okay. Okay. It's all here. It's all here. She looks at all this and goes, "That is a lot, young lady."
I realize that. If you can't take it all, that's okay.
Well, I can make use of pretty much all of this, but oh wait, did you say also a medium or not? No. Just are you
no.
you're not getting rid of the medium explosive, just small the grenades?
We're going to a place where they like are digging caves and stuff. I
Sure.
feel like I can sell it there for like more money.
Well, I can't give you a fair price up front on this. It's pay about 120, 121 spurs just by at a glance. Looks like you got some good quality stuff here and some okay stuff. So, what I can do, you live in town, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can give you half of that now, and either extend your credit for the other half. But more likely, what I would prefer to do, would be to at the end of the month, arrange for you to receive the second half. I mean, if you got an account over at the bank nearby, then I could arrange that with Mr. Nab.
I do.
All right.
So
I assume you're out there drifting. Ain't no one but a drifter come in with a haul like this. So I can give you 60 now, and the rest of it, if you're in town, I can give it to you hand to hand. Otherwise, I'll leave
we
it
are
with Mr. Nab.
unfortunately heading out for a little while.
And you don't know when you're coming back. I understand.
Yeah, but I have an account, so
All right.
you can just that would be great. Thank you.
Sure. So let me go ahead and she moves over to a big safe that she like turns the wheel on and opens up, pulls out 60 spurs, sets them on the table, and then pulls out a piece of paper where she basically writes you an IOU for 61 additional spurs.
Sure.
To be paid direct to recipient or deposited at the Bank of Waypoint.
Okay, great. And I thank her, and I go.
Yeah.
And then
She unceremoniously like shakes your hand, and then collects some of the stuff, and like starts putting it like off and like storing it a little bit, and just like doesn't pay any attention to you as you leave.
yeah. And then I don't necessarily need a scene unless Mr. Nab is being a little bit of a pain in the butt. But I did want to put Porter and Gus as beneficiaries of my bank account.
Okay, yeah, that's extremely straightforward. They're not going to ask you questions. They're not going to be like, "What do you mean? You're a drifter. Why? What could possibly happen to you?" Yeah, no, you get
okay.
You get Porter and Gus. The one thing you get from is it Mr. Nab? I don't think it's Mr. Nab this
Oh,
early.
it's not. Isn't it? Oh, was it that nosy one that I don't like?
No, yeah, she was the opposite of what I said. She is nosy. No, you are talking to Garrett Taylor. He's about 40 years old. You've worked with him before. He's a little tired. Seems like he had a long night last night. But he's like, this should all be about straightforward. Just sign here and here, and then the one thing is, in the case of a dispute, do you want it to go to the mayor and the sheriff, or do you want to designate one of them as the actual adjudicator of any disputes? One of them being Mr. Gurley or Mr. Janus.
I don't. It can just the
sheriff and the mayor.
Yes, please.
All right. Yeah, I mean, just something I got to add here in the paperwork. Make sure that that is all dealt with. All right. Well, I'll get this filed, and they will be added to the account. Now, did you want them to have access when you're not around? Is this a shared account, or is it just in case of the worst?
Oh, I didn't really think that was an option without them here to sort of just put them on. That's so weird.
Well, that was kind of what I was getting at here, is that we would have to call them in if...
No. Just in case of the worst. I don't...
Right, that's what I figured, given given the fact that they ain't here. I figured you weren't trying to put them on the account proper, just covering bases. I understand, miss. Yeah. Well, I will have these all filed away, and you have a good evening, or morning.
You too. I go, and I guess just... I don't know, do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you have just a little bit more time before the you're able to get a nice breakfast at the Free State Bed and Brew.
Hooray!
And you are rejoined by your companions in the morning as the Gray Riders roll into town. You can't miss them; they're very loud. Yeah, the Nomad Pack shows up. They're a little bit bigger than the Road Banners. The Road Banners had about 8 or 9 vehicles. The Gray Riders seem to have somewhere in the round of like 12 to 14 vehicles. They are like a few of them pull into town, and actually as like the Dex and Porter and Gus are making their way into the body of Free State. You guys see Eloise there, and then the door opens up, and Porter, you see as the roaring sounds of engines announce her arrival, banging through the door leading to the street. You see your old friend, Selma Page, walk in. She is a heavy-set individual who has just like big, huge, like almost like welding gloves on that she's like taking off, and she like pulls goggles up off of her eyes, and like there's like her face is like all dirt, but like her eyes and like the straps where the goggles were are clean, and like a little cloud of not a huge cloud, but a little cloud of dust like kind of trails behind her as she walks in, and she goes, "The fuck is Porter Janus?" And everyone like looks a little bit like everyone's a little nervous for a second.
Right here, Salma. Right here. Calm down.
Porter, you son of a bitch! As she walks by, and again, everyone is getting like tense. And like actually, the person behind the bar who is, oh no, I lost it. Yeah, it's Mark Speckman doesn't know what to do and is like seeming like he's supposed to take control of the situation. And like actually Stephen Gibbs, one of the owners, like steps out of the back and like looks in. And everyone's like watching as this mountain of a woman walks in and like rushes up to like Porter and then just grabs him in a massive bear hug that like pops his back as she like picks him up and like holds him up.
Okay.
And she's like, "You can breathe? Can you breathe? Or did the road make you soft? You make you soft over there."
I can't. I can breathe fine, you bastard.
There he is. And she like drops him down and then like shakes his hand and like gives him another like more gentle hug and like grabs his shoulder and goes, "Hell, you just get smaller every time I see you."
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. And I slap her on the shoulder.
And she goes, "Well, I got your LRC. I'm happy that you finally made it out of Markham's Landing to see the wider world. Took you long enough."
Yeah, cheers. You inspired me, you know.
Oh, ain't you just the softest? Now, who are these bosom companions of you're traveling with? My name's Selma Page. Whatever he told you, it ain't half as good as what it is.
This here's Gus Gurley. This is my friend Dex Bailey. And this is Eloise Port. Eloise. Sorry, I almost said Eloise Janus. No, that's not
Ain't
right.
it though?
Eloise Perkins, right?
Reynolds.
Reynolds, right? Like I said, Perkins Reynolds. You know, I don't say your last name ever. I just call you L.
Hi.
Someone just sits there and looks at Eloise, looks at Porter, looks at Eloise, looks at Porter. Oh, I'm just gonna sit in this for a second. This is delicious.
It's so nice to meet you,
You're good friend.
Gus.
Sure.
Pleasure, Gus. Pleasure. Shakes your hand firm, like handshake. And then goes, "Well, you know the drill. We gotta get moving here. What all are we loading up? Was a couple of vehicles. You said there might be horses."
I'm not sure about the horses. What is Sinclair
No,
coming up?
it's just
Coming with us?
it's just the two vehicles and then the four of us to Las Brasas, please.
All right then. Well, let's get walking.
Oh.
I'm gonna be your conductor.
You'll love this. I'll get to show you my cart.
Oh, Porter. Oh, hell. I can't wait to see what you call transport. As you walk out, she's walking you down towards the DeCastro stables. Big long strides. Making a good pace. She's like, "I'm gonna be your conductor for the journey to Las Brasas. For the 3 passengers and for the 4 passengers, they. Oh, did that not? Okay, cool. Good. I'm transmitting. Good. For the 4 passengers and your vehicles, I understand it's going to come to somewhere over 20. Let's take a look at the vehicles. And as you get to the DeCastro stables, you like Porter, you have like your wagon brought out, and Gus's car brought out, and Selma's sitting there looking, and goes, "Well, Dalton, where's their vehicles? I mean, come on, my buddy Porter's here, gotta be riding in style. Get these hunks of junk out of the way. Get these hunks
for you.
You're telling me
That is the finest automaton horse money can buy, my friend.
Well, that's your problem. You spent money on it.
I sold my whole farm for this
But-
car.
Well, for a prom vehicle, it ain't too bad. Looks like it might be something wrong with your windows, but we could have someone look at that if you want.
Yeah.
Don't get him on that.
Yeah, they squeak, and I hear it in my dreams and in my sleep. It didn't used to happen like that.
Let me just take a look here. She like rolls it up, it squeaks. She rolls it down, it squeaks, and then she just bangs on the side of it, on like the side of the door, and then rolls it, and it's silent as night.
Oh, you gotta teach me how to do that, please. Oh, what a lifesaver you are.
Well, this is cute. This is cute. I am actually surprised if it's carrying your big ass around town. It's got to have something. And Porter, I mean, look, I guess you ain't had much growing up, so this feels like good to you. But you'll learn how it is out
Got
here.
a sign on the back. See, Ramblin' Retail. Look,
see.
I'm doing fine for myself.
The alliteration is inspiring.
I thought of it myself.
And she goes, all right, well, we'll go ahead and have these load up. And she like does a big whistle, and like 2 nomads run over, collect your keys, and start like moving them out towards where the rest of the vehicles are. You just see like, nomads moving up in town, like picking up and delivering packages. And she goes, right, okay, so since it's more like 1.5 vehicles, we'll go ahead and call it 22 spurs.
I've got the 20 if somebody's got the 2.
Yeah, I got 2 spurs. Thank you, Porter.
Cheers.
Right, now let me
We're
show
roadkin,
you to
you
your...
Yeah, roadkin. I was told we're roadkin. That's so fun. Why ain't we calling each other roadkin all the time?
Fucking proms. If you can go ahead and pull your jaws off the ground and stop acting like you understand the road, let's go ahead and take you over to your illustrious carriage that will be seeing you safely to Las Brasas. And she leads you over to a trailer that is more spacious than the one you had with the road banners. It's a little bit bigger. It's got a taller ceiling. Gus, you can actually stand up in this one almost normally. Like, there's parts of it where you kind of still have to duck because there's like, stuff like lights and stuff like that. But like the other one, like you were like hunched over to stand up. And like this one's got much more clearance. It's got 6 beds that are bolted against the frame and the floor. And also 6 hammocks that are above the beds. And then there's also, you see 2 actual tables and chair, like 2 sets of tables and chairs that are bolted into place, and like kind of like folded up in netting next to those. You see at least a Pio board and like a deck of cards and some other things. And also in the back, like where like the bathroom is, there's actually like walls around the bathroom, and there's a wash basin back there as well. And just in general, it's like cleaner and a little nicer. It still like has like armored like shutters instead of like windows. But they are a little more spacious, and they do have curtains.
There's something really funny to me about curtains in front of your armored shutters.
Yeah.
You feel hungry.
If you ask
But also
Selma, she would say, really brings out the room, huh? Very luxurious. We know you proms love things like curtains and sheets. Actually, that is what she says as she walks in and shows you around. And she goes, "You're going to be traveling with Mr. and Mrs. Schubert." And she gestures to a woman in her 40s and her child, who is probably early teens. Cetro, what is it? Mr. Cattrall, and Riley Hirsch. And you see basically a woman in her like 40s and a kid who's about like 13 or 12. You see a man in his like early 30s. You see an older gentleman who is in his like 50s, and then another individual who is late 30s, it looks like. All of which are just like putting up their stuff and like getting and like claiming bunks and hammocks and so on. As far as I can tell, you four and Mr. Control are the only people who are making it all the way to Las Brasas. The Schuberts are stopping along the way. Same with Cetro and Hirsch. Are there any questions? Do you need anything from me?
Nope.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure. And Porter. And she just like grabs your face and like gives you a slap on the cheek and says, "You're gorgeous."
Wish I could say the same for you. Appreciate it, Simon.
There he is. We'll be making stops in towns only. You'll get 5 to 10 minutes in each town. Keep an eye out for me. Can't be hard to miss me. And Porter, let's catch up along the way. I want to hear all about your journeys. Last I heard, you was working a shipping detail across the wastes. I want to hear what put the fire under your ass and got you into the Badlands proper.
You know, you're the ones that inspired me there. Is my first foray out of the city. I'll tell you all about it. Does that mean that I have to, jump from this car to your car?
Oh yeah, that's the only way we're gonna be talking. I mean, you're just gonna have to leap from one to the other, just like that. No, we ain't
sure, that'll be fine.
We ain't let fucking Proms open up the doors. If you're leaving, I'll open it up for you. But I'll talk to you with your boots on the ground where you're most comfortable.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, again, pleasure. And Mr. Bailey, Ms. Reynolds, Mr. Gurley, any friend of Porter is a very good acquaintance of mine, and I am delighted to be of service to you during this journey. Please stop, swing me down at all. If you need anything, just lean out the window. That's my vehicle right over there. It's like this like spiked like big wheel like monster truck looking thing. And she goes, "That's my vehicle right over there." So
Is it somewhere behind that toy car over there? Or not a Chrome I'm seeing?
She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. You can't see it from how low you are to the ground. Maybe you want me to pick you up, give you a better view?"
Oh yeah. Aim at a man's height. That's just fine.
And she goes, "Well, we're heading off, so I'm going to close up these shutters here. You all have a safe journey. Enjoy and luxury." And like steps back and like closes the door and latches it. And then the vehicle kind of moves and you feel yourself beginning to leave Waypoint.
Claim a bed, not a hammock, if possible.
I claim a hammock, if not a bed, if possible.
Absolutely. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 people here and 6 beds and 6 hammocks. And there's an Corey Schubert wants the kid wants a hammock. Yeah.
You're 13, you want a hammock.
Yeah, there, bud. Hammocks for life. Am I right?
Augie Cattrall wants a bed. Everyone splits up. Yeah. Gus, you walk by as like Corey is like rolling into the hammock and like seems to be trying to get like comfortable. And you come by and you're like, "Hammocks for life," right? As you like go to like get into your own hammock. And he just like leans back and goes, "Oh, this ain't my first time in the Nomad Pack. Ma and I travel quite a bit. Now these hammocks, they nice though. They got little pillows. I like it."
Yeah, it's real nice. Well, this is my first time on this. It's my second time on a Nomad pack ever. It's my first time with these ones.
Oh,
Any tips for me? What should I be doing here?
well, this
Anything
one's got
good?
a working toilet from what I can tell. Most of them you just kind of poop on the ground below.
Yeah.
This one's much better, so that's nice. But otherwise, I mean, it's just travel, sir. I mean, there ain't you sit there and they take you from one place to another. I mean, I ain't ever seen a Nomad pack run into any trouble. So we should be just right as rain. Now, if you, sir, are you nervous? Do you need?
No, I'm I'm fine with all the words you just said with your mouth. I did read about one Nomad pack that got in trouble one time. Big old wasset, like a sort of bioengineer wasset. They all ran into it.
That don't
You
sound
ain't
real.
much fun for reading. No, it's totally real. It's Light in the Darkness.
Oh, Moss says I can't read that. Says it's trash.
Oh, it ain't trash. It's literature. It's wonderful.
It's one of them
It's fun
LRC printouts,
stories.
right? That ain't literature.
Well, yeah, it is. What you read it.
I mean, it's words on pages, I suppose.
Yeah, literature. Right? Isn't that?
Well, I guess I was implying that maybe it was something more like a quality of work. I mean, the LRC printouts they just done by like penny authors and whatnot, right? You don't learn anything in them.
I learned all sorts of stuff in them. Some of the stuff ain't true, but like a lot of stuff is.
All right, well
I don't
let's.
know what to do if I'm ever in a cave of vampires.
Well, we're on here for another day or two, so let's do a trade. If you give me Light in the Darkness, I'll loan you one of my books, and then I mean, I can't keep it, so I'll give it back to you before we leave.
Yeah, I'd love to do a little swap. What you got in there?
All right, and he like reaches down and like pulls out a pack. He's got like science, like he's got like textbooks basically, like
Good boy genius over here.
like he
So your name was Angus?
no, this is Corey Schubert.
Oh, Corey. Sorry, Corey.
Yeah, he like looks through a few of them and goes, "This one's one of my favorites." So, seems like a fair trade, and it's like it's thick. It's like a tome, and
Bang for your buck on this one.
and like it is about basically a deep dive into just like the star map of Manifest and how it influenced the creation of the Astraean religion 380 years ago.
Oh, what would I know about the Astraean religion?
The Astraean religion, it is basically it's a star-based religion. They basically believe that humanity was brought to manifest for like a purpose, and that purpose is either controlled by, or not controlled by, but like determined by, or at least known by the elders. And you can see the elders in the constellations in the sky. And all of creation has elements of the elders within them. The constellations are constellations that most people on Manifest know. You definitely know them after like laying out on the farm and everything. They're basically based on like different Manifest animals. So they have like an Ache, you have a Workin, you have the Piazza bird, you have the Hound, basically each of those constellations are distilled into an aspect of like someone's personality. Is that that they have a term for it, but it has to do with like who they are as a person, and like that's how like similar to how like the triptych religion is a lot about like self-reflection and everything. The Astraean religion kind of like you identify or borrow qualities from each of these elders in the sky, but every one of them has a good and a bad. Like pride, like you have like too much pride, but you're also brave, like stuff like that. So like each of them is like a two-sided coin, and it's about finding balance within each of those things. And like the stories of the Australian religion, you don't know what they're like, but you know that they pertain around like these like kind of deities that exist within the stars and kind of painted themselves in the sky of manifest after bringing in after like doing the work that was necessary to bring humanity there.
Really cool. Yeah, Gus tries to start reading it.
Yeah. You also know that they because you've been to triptych churches and stuff, you know that they practice their religion outside more often than not. Usually like sitting out behind the church, or a lot of churches, a lot of triptych churches have like the domes can be like opened up partially, like as if they were observation towers, so that, like telescopes can be put up, or just the sky can be overhead while they practice their religion.
That's so cool. Yeah, Gus tries to start reading it. It is slow going.
It is beyond Gus's reading level.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Let me know when I can start asking Eloise questions.
And as like you go and sit down, Miss Schubert walks over and not to you, Gus, but like over to her kid, and like probably like Eloise, reporter, or Dex hears this because Gus has walked off. Miss Schubert goes, "You picking on that poor man, Corey?" "What, Ma? No," he says, like shoving a light in the darkness under the pillow. He just we got to talking, and I thought he might like one of my books. "Did he take your book?" "No, Ma, I loaned it to him." "Did he give you anything in return?" "No, Ma, I'm just nice like that." "All right, you mind yourself around these people. I always do, my perfect angel."
Gonna write Path of the Grifter on this boy.
Educated grifter. This is a Roland in the making.
I have no kids that I know of.
As soon as she walks away, Gus gives him a little like.
Yeah. But yeah, you all load in. You're on the road. And I think what I'm going to do is we gonna roll shoot the shit, because we haven't rolled shoot the shit. There's been a lot of role play, so I haven't had to do shoot the shit. But spoiler alert, travel to Las Brasas, extremely easy. In fact, it would be wild for people not to go there, how easy it is to get there.
I still remember what you had that boy say, Tommy.
Yeah, the first 5 days of it are just the easiest thing there is. And the 6th day comes.
Night of the 5th day.
So you guys have several days of uninterrupted, totally fine travel in what you at least would think is one of the more comfortable trailers in a Nomad pack around. And the stops are a little longer, and they provide you with better food and drink. And all around, it's an easier journey. But yeah, so everyone choose someone to roll shoot the shit at. And then before we resolve shoot the shit, we will take a break. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so what do y'all got?
I think Porter's gonna pick.
I'm
Eloise.
also picking
I win.
Eloise.
Again, I was gonna pick Eloise.
The thing is that me, Dan,
Eloise.
the human, and Dex, the fictional character, both remembered a thing at the same time that's on my character sheet, and so I do need to talk to Eloise.
Cool.
I'll pick Porter then.
You know, I'm not gonna change it. I don't want to do a perfect like circle around. I like this
Everyone's-
dynamic.
Everyone's got to
turn
go
with L.
chat with L.
I'll just talk to Porter.
This episode's name is On the Road with Eloise.
I listen to that radio show.
All right, so Dex is choosing Eloise, Porter's choosing Eloise. Gus, are you also choosing Eloise? Or did you say Porter?
I'll choose Porter.
Okay,
Just for variety's sake.
Gus goes with Porter and Eloise.
Even though I do have things to say to Eloise.
I guess I'll choose Gus since
There you go.
there you go.
Hey.
There in the end.
I guess I just get to talk to everybody. Yeah.
All right.
So
So
now-
what's that?
Are we rolling
So,
right
yeah.
It's been so long.
You roll.
Personality only.
It's a personality attribute only test. So your target is your personality attribute plus 4. And then you roll dice as based by your personality like you would for any personality based test.
May or may not need some grit on this chat.
You got
And do you know what
7.
the upside of just like constantly talking to each other and role playing and not having to roll shoot the shit is that I don't have to be reminded how harrowing it is to look down at this 4 and know that I'm aiming at an 8.
Aiming at a 7. And guess what I just rolled?
7.
2 7s.
What?
Fucking slot machine.
Boom.
Slot
Wow.
machine over here.
Wow. Do you have reliability on this roll? I always forget.
If your attribute is even, yeah, because you have a natural reliability on any test that uses an attribute that you have an even number in.
Good.
3 or more hits is bond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone has rolled. We have chosen Dex and Porter are talking to Eloise. Gus is talking to Porter. Eloise is talking to Gus. And we will see how their journey brings them together or pulls them apart after this break. Basically 10:17 on the clock, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So 10:27. We'll see y'all then. Taking a quick little break. Go refresh your drinks, get some snacks, and think about what terrible things might await them on the road. Bye. We'll be right back. Bye.
Why? Why would you do that?
All right. Hello. Welcome back. We are here and we are these four drifters are on their way to Las Brasas in a trailer of a nomad pack, and they've all just rolled shoot the shit. For those of you who are unaware, shoot the shit is a mechanic in Manifest where during long travel or downtime or anything like that, just like time spent traveling over long stretches of land on Manifest, you're likely to get to know the people around you a little bit and potentially bond over things or end up holding grudges about certain things. And that's what Shoot the Shit's all about. So they've all chosen a character to shoot the shit with, and we are going to do that now. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I got 2 hits with Eloise, so Eloise gets to learn something about Dex.
Before we start that off, Gus, you get a grit. From Salty's time.
I believe it is Saltiest Teammate.
Saltiest Teammate. All right. Eloise, you get to learn something about Dex.
Okay.
So at some point during the journey, you and Dex, I guess, are if you're trying.
I'll tell you how. I'll tell you what the inn is because I know what that is. I don't know what you learn.
Oh, okay.
At some point, there's an opportunity where Eloise is like not engaged with conversation with somebody else, and Dex will come up and reach into like one of the pockets in his armor. With everything that happened in between then and now, I sort of forgot that you gave this to me. And I hand you back the cigarette case you gave me when you were defusing the bomb door at the bandit hideout.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Did you open it?
Oh.
Cool. Thanks for returning it.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't think of it sooner. I didn't mean to hold on to it, that is.
Well, I don't imagine you like to hold on to most things, so.
I don't quite understand.
I mean, of course, you have your code, so you hold on to that. But doesn't seem like much else. So I imagine it's part of your mystique.
Eloise, I don't have anything else because I don't own anything. I didn't own anything when Isabel picked me up.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Have you ever heard of a town called Lucas Creek?
You have not.
No.
It's because it existed for about a 15-year window. It's where I was born. And it's not there anymore. Just never quite made it.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's
Okay. It happens to a lot more towns than it should. That's why I don't have anything. Just because everything that the town had went into trying to keep it alive. And when that wasn't enough, well, I guess it was a storm and the bandits to kind of really put it over the edge. But I left with the clothes on my back.
I mean, don't they give you anything other than guns?
I mean, the armor. Picked up these night vision goggles along the way. If I wanted more stuff, they might, but for the squints, it's kind of minimalist by design. The point is to focus on yourself and sort of your inner life. But Isabel's coat is very nice, and I know she didn't get that from the peak.
I'm not really wanting to say what's normal and not, but that's not normal. Kids should have things as well as people. I'm sorry that you didn't.
Thanks.
And maybe one day you'll get a real nice coat too.
I think probably I will. And I think Dex leaves this conversation.
I put my cigarette case away.
All
My
right,
secret pocket.
Eloise, you picked Gus, right?
I did.
Okay. What'd you get?
I got 2 hits.
Gus gets to
unfortunately.
learn something about Eloise.
Oh, what could I possibly learn?
I'm a mystery wrapped in an enigma and whatever the other saying is.
Hey, well, could you help me out? There's like 10 to 20 words on this first page that I don't understand, but I think once I get past this thing's really going to open up.
Okay. Yeah. Where did you get this? Because this is
Like, kid, Corey gave it to me.
oh. Yeah.
We're swapping. I gave him Light in the Darkness. He gave me this.
Okay. Well, this word is duality. Do you know what that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. No, I don't know what it means.
Sure. It means so duo means 2, and so when you have like that it means like a nature of 2. It means like a how there's like good and bad, and they like kind of match together,
I guess
right?
I
Like
guess so.
if it was like a scales kind of thing, that the duality of something is like the like good and the bad, but like it makes up the whole, if that makes sense. Like life and death, right? Like in nature, like if something dies, it goes back into the ground and then grows back up, right? And so like you need that cycle. That's kind of what a duality is. It's
Right.
like opposites but intertwined.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
In Triptycism, we mostly dealt with like things in groups of 3, or like 3 things. Like there wasn't like a good and a bad. There was like balance and off balance, like the things that were sort of
right. Well, so
one way or another.
So in this page, basically, they're giving you the basics of it, right? Where it's like
Oh
they
no,
kinda,
this is the basics.
yes.
Oh, I thought
You know,
they started doing
actually,
something hard.
Gus, let me show you some. And I flip to the back where there's a glossary, and I show him like this section of the book. In books like these, you've got this is like where the definitions of like words you may not know can be like that are like specific. So like you can see duality is right here, and then it's got the definition. So like I'm happy to keep helping you, but also if you're like reading it late or whatever, you can see if the words in the back.
Yeah, no, see, I told you it was gonna open up. No, this is great. No, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, see, I'm seeing a bunch of them on here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, it's really good. Hey, Elle, I got a question for you.
Sure.
What, I don't know, I was thinking about this the other day, and Saoirse, she said something real smart. She's always doing that. It's crazy. She said that drifters don't start drifting unless there's a hole in them. You know what I mean? There's something empty. I figure, we ain't gonna drift forever. We're all gonna find something to fill that hole. But what do you think would fill that hole for you? Where do you sort of want to end up?
Eloise, like literally her jaw like drops open. 'Cause I don't I I never really had a plan for that. I I well, my growing up situation, though it was like comfortable, like because my dad had money and all that.
Mhm.
It wasn't great for me personally. I didn't really fit, and so I left there. And so the goal was just to leave, which I did, and then ever since then, it's just kind of been not being there. And then I ran out of money, basically, and so I started drifting. It didn't even occur to me that I might get a job in town, which now I feel like I could have, and that might have been a lot safer and probably avoided pretty much all the troubles that I have right now. But then I wouldn't have you guys. So, but I don't know. I guess it's that I don't really have a future in mind. I don't really see another couple of years forward.
Well, we can find you something. I always think, I'm always like, oh, Elle's gonna open up a shop where she makes something really cool, like fixes cool things. I don't know, like I always see you like selling bikes that ride into the air, and it's like now Waypoint's like totally cool and different, and everyone's riding their bikes all up in the air everywhere.
Well, it's pretty dangerous, and I don't know how to make those, but I don't I don't necessarily see a shop in my future, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you figure it out, or if there's anything I can do to help you out. You want to bounce any ideas off me? Because I don't know, like we're doing this and it's fun and stuff, and eventually we're gonna punch Brimstone in the mouth, and that's gonna feel real good. But after that, y'all gotta do something.
Sure. Yeah, no, after that there yep, yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'll come out on top. It's a easy easy peasy.
Yeah, duh. Of course we're gonna come out on top. We always do. Yeah, we done it. We done it a bunch of times. It's some really hard times,
Mm,
but
yeah.
we just gotta keep making moves and doing stuff. Eventually, I do have to give those guns back. made a real deep promise. I gotta give those guns back. That's a big one.
Sure.
But-
yeah.
And after that, I don't know. X will
Yeah,
probably go
well-
up and get his belt buckle, and then he'll just sort of patrol around, and say, "Hey, you freeze!" And by the time he said freeze, they're already shot. But
To death.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I bet that Dex would go with you to return those guns.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
I probably ain't going up to the peak. They probably don't want me and my big ideas up there. They got their own sort of stuff going on. But I don't know. I don't know. I think we're all great. We're all a team. We're all sort of a family. And I don't know. I care about everybody. And I was just wondering sort of what you wanted.
I will let you know if I figure it out.
Oh,
I kind of just want everybody to be happy as they can be.
yeah. I think that's a great place to start, Elle. And I will come back to you. I look, this glossary
Yeah,
is nice,
no,
but
if you wanna-
there's a
if
few
you
words
wanna
that ain't
write-
in here, I think.
No, that's fine. I might have a dictionary somewhere too if I can find a little pocket one. So I'll look through my
Mm.
stuff and see.
Yeah, that'd be real nice because there's a. God,
Yeah.
I know they made words this long. When they start
and-
making words this long.
I don't know. Probably a long time ago. And do I have a pocket dictionary? I feel like I might. I don't know. Can I spend a cube and get
Yeah,
a pocket
I don't know.
dictionary?
I think if you don't, I do.
Take out your machinery cube, and now you have a pocket
I have
dictionary.
a pocket dictionary that I gift to Gus, and I write in it, and I say to Gus for all the words you're looking for.
Oh,
And I give
have a
it to
great
him.
summer. Don't ever change.
See you next year. LOL. Heart. Sun. Star.
Exhale the sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like fucking Gus, you turn your attention back to like a sentence that's like the inquisitive nature of humanity led to a
Yes,
necessity
because
for
physiological.
cognitive clarity of of the undiscovered and mysterious nature of and like just keeps going. You're like,
No. This book might not be good even.
Their story's gonna start.
no story whatsoever. It's like written by like an atheist, and it's just like a rundown. It's like it's the like theological deconstruction of how like stargazing turned into like a religion.
Wild.
Cool. So Gus, you picked Porter, and
Sure did.
how many successes did you roll?
3 big ones.
Ooh.
Hey.
Porter and Gus are gonna bond.
On a 7 target, rolling 2 dice. I got 3 hits,
Very
baby.
impressive.
Yeah.
I think this is probably a couple days later. Gus
Yeah.
has really been chewing through this dang book.
Yeah, I will say also, just so you guys know, like you do pass through Spring Mill along the way. You only have 10 minutes in there, so it's not like, and you don't, but that's also a part of this journey. That's like one of the first stops. That's like day 1.
Why did
Does anybody get off at Spring Mill?
No one gets off at Spring Mill.
I can't remember what significance Spring Mill was besides the water.
We met
Oh, that's
Caldwell
what-
here.
That's right.
Caldwell is buried here.
That's right.
right.
I'll probably go and visit Caldwell for a minute. I go say hi. To the shop and I buy some liquor.
You get another jar of liquor. Spend a spur if you want. You can have another jar of licorice and some other treats.
Absolutely.
I like all of your sweets.
Yeah, I guess I'll hop out at Spring Mill with you and go with you to the shop. I'd like to try and buy some of the spring water from the same general store, but I haven't got a spur, so I think he does like the
The
pat
awkward
down sort of
thing.
thing, and then he like goes for secret pockets, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't have those anymore."
Gus
I guess
sacrifices
never
some candy to
mind.
get the two of them a bottle of spring water.
Nice. Yeah. You
Gus is
you basically
awfully
you have to
kind.
cut down like half of your candy just to get a couple bottles, but you
I had
keep the
written
jar of
down-
licorice.
Yeah, I'd written down more candy and licorice. I've just erased more candy and now I just have the licorice.
Licorice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Gus. I know how much Gus likes these things. Not how much Dex likes these things.
Like the water bottles, gesturing to the water bottles.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, I thought it'd be nice to share some. They're famous for it here. It's dang good water.
I'm good. Especially if you can get it with ice, which I don't know if the gray riders have.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They're really nice. Hey, how did you meet what's her name?
Alma.
Yes.
Oh, I came up with Selma since I was practice since I was kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. Her father works with mine in the factory. So on the occasions there where my mother would be working doing what she's working in with her service, and my father's working sometimes, we just cruise the
Wow,
neighborhood
wait.
together.
She's a nomad. Did she just sort of become a nomad?
I know. I've never met somebody as dedicated on my page. Once she decides to do something, she'll stop at nothing to get it done. She left. I think she must have been, I don't know, 16 or something like that when she left Merrick's Landing, and somehow found the Grey Riders, and they let her in. I don't know what she did to prove it. Actually, that's a
gotta
story
find
she
out
never
from her.
told me.
That's so interesting.
I, yeah, she's been with them for quite a while, and I don't get the chance to catch up with her very often. She's
Yeah,
always
I
moving.
mean, yeah. That sounds right. Interesting. Wow, I ain't never heard of nobody becoming a nomad. What? I don't know, Porter. I asked Elle this the other day. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Sure.
What do you want to like? Is there something you want to like become? Like you got like rambling retail, but like still you're doing like drifting stuff. Like what? I don't know. What do you want to do
Well,
or have or be?
the retail was never really my dream. It's just more a way to escape and keep myself and my family safe. I guess I haven't told you this yet, but I got myself wrapped up in some bad things, and my family is not being watched by the Sheffields, but kind of the implication is if I keep my head down, then everything is okay. So the retail I mostly just did to get away from the landing, and if I could, I'd like to set up something more permanent, I guess, or maybe several permanent places. It'd be nice to just like kind of triangulate myself and just be able to freely move between
Sure.
my
Yeah.
homes.
Wait. Would you have like a family in each of them? Wait, Porter, you got a whole family with like a wife and kids and
No.
what all?
No, not a wife and kids. No, I, I just I don't like being tied down to one place. Living in the factory town like that, that's kind of ruined that for me. Feeling trapped, but I like the sense of community that I once had. That's hard to get as a drifter, I did. You and Dax and Gus, you're the closest I've had to family in a long time.
Yeah, I get that. I'm right there with you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think that's great. I too would love sense of community. Hey, I'd love if the community could have one of your houses in it, Mister Moneybags. One of your houses. Listen to me talk.
I never know how good it's gonna go. I mean, I feel like I have a knack for it, but I don't want to do it forever. So,
Sure.
if I can sell old my wagon, and I don't know, I read a pit stop, but if I had to, well, I could probably set up a pretty nice place for myself.
Yeah. Well, hey, look,
But I've got to save up.
for sure. Yeah, and I don't know. I want to help out. I want to help you and get your family back. That's awful. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Porter, I hope you get whatever houses or places or families or communities or whatever you want. How? Hey, but look, when you got 3 houses, next round of water's on you, right?
That's fair enough. And I hope I'm part of your community as well. We've really built something here. I appreciate you,
too,
Gus.
Porter. I don't know. You taught me a lot about how the world works. God, all 3 of y'all. Pretty much everyone I talk to teaches me something about the world works. You seen this book? You see all the words in here? I don't even think some of these are real. I think they made them up for the book.
I always hate how academia is so inaccessible. Here, let's take a look at that. Let's see if we can figure out between the two of us.
Yeah. Look at this one. Astronomical. What's that even? Where is that?
Well, clearly it has something to do with asses and troms. So let's figure it out.
Sort of like the dancing at the carnival. We could. It might be in the glossary. I think we don't need a glossary. We've got this.
Probably did.
All right, perfect. So yeah, you two spent a little time with Porter finishing what Eloise started as far as like helping Gus get through the first chapter of this book. And the journey continues. Porter, you picked Dex, right? No, you picked Eloise. Sorry.
No, I picked Eloise. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, cool. And how many successes did you roll?
That's 4 successes.
Okay. So Eloise and Porter are gonna bond over something.
I saw you talking with. I think this is probably, but it could be the day that he speaks to Gus. Feeling nice and warm and fuzzy after we take off from Spring Mill. I might challenge L to a game of Pi-L.
Yeah.
And just kind of have a conversation over the game.
Sure.
I saw a couple of days ago you were speaking with Dex. How did that go?
It went, I guess.
I mean, it didn't end with either of you shouting at the other, so I feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah. I guess. We know exactly where we're at. And I guess that's as good as we could ask for. So
Well, tell me something. I say as I kind of start a maneuver around the right side of the board. Is it only the 2 ways? Do you think? Is it only, find a way for me out? Is the out for me is to do exactly what the family says? I mean, I don't want to put my family in any danger, but there's got to be some third option because I can't stand the 2 of you being torn apart.
the Well, I guess the thing is that I don't really know that it's actually like um this situation, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's just how he is. It's like his beliefs, and if he doesn't want to change them, I'm not going to make him, but I'm also not going to change for him. So, uh, he'll do what he has to do, and I don't think that we were ever really friends. So, um,
Now, I can't believe that at all. All we've through with him, with just the two of you. I mean, he's not a liar. He's never misrepresented himself, as far as I can
I mean,
tell.
I tricked myself into
And
thinking that we were friends. Is the thing. Because the thing
but
is
I
that
don't think you did. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you did.
I mean, in Dex's head, we're all just one bad act away from meeting a bullet. And
If
so
that were true, sorry.
no, it's fine.
If that were true, then I think Dex would have shot me as soon as he found out that I was involved with the family. Like the instant that I said I did anything with them, he would be in the ground. I think he understands that his morals or his set of personal rules, I think he understands that they're flexible. Otherwise, why would they send the novitiates out into the world to earn their belt buckle if they could just, pass a written test about these are the things that you do when you come upon a bad person? He'd already have the buckle by now. But doesn't he have to kind of learn his own moral path?
I mean, that's what he's doing, right? I mean, that's what all gunslingers do. They decide what's good to them, and then you're either on their side or the other side. I don't.
Right, but what I'm saying is he isn't finished with his path yet, Eloise. You can't ask him to change, and he won't ask you to change. I also don't see him shooting you or me or Gus anytime, unless for some reason one of us does something absolutely unforgivably terrible. And
Yeah, but he's the
I
arbiter
think
of
that
that.
he knows us.
I
Not
don't
yet,
think
he
he
isn't.
cares.
I have
I don't.
never seen Dex pull his gun unless he absolutely felt he needed to. If he felt you or I or anyone was in danger, that's the only reason. Or, he is a very quick thinker when it comes to judging somebody's threat level. And I don't think that he kills just to rid the world of evil. I think he only pulls his gun if somebody is in immediate danger. That's all I've seen from him so far. Other than that, his creed, even on it. Isn't it worth sticking with him to see where he ends?
Maybe if you are, and Gus is.
What about you? Is it only dependent on us? If for some reason, Gus or me, does that mean you'd have Max?
You broke up a little bit. I don't know what you said.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on. I said if for some reason happened to me or Gus, does that mean that you'd abandon Dex?
I don't think he'd want me to stay.
I think.
Listen, I
think
mean,
you
Porter,
might be sure.
like I know what you have the chance to go home. And it is, I think, legitimately your only shot for like a decade, probably. The family just, as far as I know, doesn't let people go who owe them. And Dex would rather you potentially never go home again than move his line. And if he doesn't care about something that is only good and then ending the family's hold over you so there's less influence for them, and giving a thing to a person who's going to have less opportunity to use it because they're going to be in Markham's Landing, that's his line, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. and so he's not going to help you. He's going to let you maybe do it or just destroy it if you end up getting it, or just let it never even come to pass. That's not a friend. And I just want you to be happy. I want you to be able to go home. I want you to be able to hold your sibling in your arms and your mom and pa, and I want you to be able to have the life that you left, or better. You have that opportunity. You should go home.
Porter is going to kind of reach over the table. They've stopped playing at this point, and grab her hand. And he's going to say, "I've had a little bit of time to think through this, and I can't think of any situation where I go home and supply a technologically super weapon to people of questionable moral value who I know will use it to kill hundreds, if not thousands, of people. There's no situation
It's
that
a
I go
gun,
back
Porter.
to my
What are you
family
talking
knowing
about?
that
You just shoot it.
Porter,
it's
you
just
don't,
one gun.
you don't. For one thing, Porter, you don't know what the filament is. Proto-Martyr tech could be anything. They made
Sure.
semi-sentient creatures, vehicles, power armor, weapons, bombs.
Right. What do you mean it's a gun? I mean it's proto-martyr tech. Doesn't mean it. What do you mean it's a gun?
Just by logic.
Porter, you don't need to roll to know that.
No.
Eloise fails that manipulate test.
Oh. I get the feeling that you've done something that I'm not gonna like very much. I I need you to tell me what it is. Please. And this is kind of an emotional manipulate because they're definitely like in my eyes and like the heartbreaking look. So I'd like to roll for that.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. This will help.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, this stream's so good. Are y'all watching this? This stream's so good, right?
Also, while we're rolling, thank you to Salties for the 5 gifted.
Yay!
The best
You rock.
seasons of love.
Yeah, so Porter rolls manipulate. Eloise, you roll discipline. Unless you don't have play in the player, right?
I do not.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to spend 2 grit to play to the gallery.
Hey, he
So
didn't
I might
misfire.
count this 14.
I was so ready for it when you were like,
You're waiting for it, weren't
I
you?
need to spend 3 grit to downgrade this misfire.
I thought he was about to do a bamboozle, and that was about to be the most cold-blooded and incredible cheat the shit roll ever.
So that's a high of 14 with 4 hits.
What's your highest, Eloise?
I actually rolled a hit, but it is a 1.
Well, Porter,
Oh,
Porter, how many did you get equal to or above 1 since you're the aggressor?
I am so happy that it was a 1 because that means it is 4 hits as the aggressor.
Because you had
It
1.
was
You had a 1.
an 11, an 11, a 14, and a 1. Yep, that's correct.
Oh my god. I know what Porter's problem has been. He's been rolling at NPCs this whole game.
Porter, master of PvP.
He's got to roll against my friends.
Argitlam, so Porter, you spent 2 grit, so you went down to 2, but Argitlam gave you 1
Right.
grit, saying, "Oh God, you cannot risk having only
You
cannot risk having only 2 grit."
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So, Eloise, I trust you to react accordingly to the fact that you Porter just got 4 net successes on his emotional manipulate to get you to spill the beans.
I have to get you home, and Gus can't go because they're looking for him too, and they said that they would just kill him because the body would be worth just as much, and then and Dex won't go, and so he can't help. And if you go, and then there's no point to it. It's the whole reason is because you're gonna go, and I can't go with you, and so I was so mad, and I guess because Dex was just, I'll shoot you, and I was like, fine, just do it then, and then he was like, then he left, and I thought maybe he would think that I wasn't a bad person, but he does because I'm gonna do something, and so I maybe reached out to Henry Fawcett and maybe talked with him and maybe convinced him to show me the filament and maybe made a deal. And it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it if you get to go home. And he said that he wouldn't go after Dex and he wouldn't go after Gus.
Does he know where you are?
No, I didn't show him anything. I didn't tell him anything.
I will never, ever relive for any personal gain. Especially if it only means I have to wait a little bit longer to see my family. I will family again, but never lose you.
But you can't.
Never, Eloise. Are you listening?
Yes.
Come here. And for is if she lets him, is just gonna wrap his arms around her, like stand up, go around the table, wrap his arms around her, and he's gonna kiss her on the forehead. You will never say anything that stupid to me ever again. We're together. It's you, it's me, it's Gus, and it's Dex. Dex isn't gonna leave. Gus will leave. And I'm not gonna leave you. And that means that you can't leave either. And if you ever need to, you need to be open with us and tell us why. But you cannot give yourself up like this, or you'll have me chasing you down. And you won't have saved anything.
Eloise just like sort of like nods and cries a little. And I can't go with you if you go home. And I don't want them to kill Gus. And I thought I could save you.
I know. I know. I am very thankful for you. And I reject your gift. And if you think that you're not going to meet my family, you've got another thing coming, because you're coming home with me.
I can't
Okay.
go, Porter.
Well, then they'll just have to come to us. Okay? There are other ways to get my family safe. If I can get them out of factory town, just an added bonus, you know? And with one arm around her, he's going to reach over and he's going to move one of his hoppers and flip the game piece over and say, I win.
I know. You could have done it 4 moves earlier.
I told you to stop going easy on me.
I was distracted.
Fair enough.
So what am I supposed to do with the 100 spurs I have now then?
100. Is that how much you sold all that stuff for? What are you going to do with it in the first place?
I'm not allowed to talk about it because you said not to talk about it anymore.
All right, you'll tell me when you're ready then.
No, I mean it was part of the deal. He asked for 100 spurs.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll have to keep those then. And if he thinks that you are going to come to him willingly, I think that might put us in a good strategic position.
Okay.
Look at you won him over. I mean, you're practically a grifter.
No, not really. It's pretty easy when you just dive into somebody's brain to knock them off balance.
I mean, nobody's going to say they didn't cheat, but the first thing is getting somebody on your side, making them think it's their idea. We'll be all right.
Okay.
As long as we stick together, right?
Okay.
As long as you stick with me. You are going to stick with me, aren't you?
I will.
All right.
All right. So first off, obviously, grit around the table for excellent roleplay. I will give an additional grit to Porter for his excellent first his excellent roll, but also his I win use of the Pio. So I believe that puts Dex at 7, Eloise at 5, Porter back to 4, and Gus at 9.
I think.
Is
that right?
Yeah, because Argot Lam gave you 1 grit.
3. That's. I was at 2, 3. You gave me 1, and then you gave me.
Oh
a second,
no, I didn't give you your second one. Yeah, I just completely skimped out on my deal. Look who's the grifter now.
This is the man trying to teach you about gritonomics at the top of the stream. Is all I'm saying.
That's right.
5 grit for Porter. 5 grit. All right. So, on the final day of travel, you have about days left on the way to Las Brasas. You've made all the stops along the way. I will say, Corey Schubert and his mother Alberta both get off on the 3rd stop. So Gus, you barely have time to make it through chapter 2 before Corey they're packing up their things, and Corey's like, all right, quick. And he hands you the light in the darkness and takes his book back and goes, pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like they were telling a story about something that actually happened.
That's what. Come on, Corey. Yes, Ma. And he gives you a look and then leaves.
Wait, what'd you think about Rico?
He stops for a second, turns back and goes, I mean, you're not wrong. It's entertaining, but it's nonsense. You do know that, right, sir? You understand that's.
You're the one with the book that has to tell you all the words in the back. You tell me what's nonsense.
Corey, coming, Ma. Good luck, Mr. Gurley. And then runs off.
Wonderful.
And then along the journey, Cetro does leave. Riley Hirsch leaves. Augie Cattrall is the only person who is actually heading to Las Brasas. And in between the final stop before Las Brasas and Las Brasas, you have about a day's worth of travel. And it's totally fine. Everything's fine. You actually get to Las Brasas. Fuck you guys.
Now, what about the 9 nights you stand in a circle and allow only the worthy to enter?
My guess is that Las Brasas is a brigadoon. That's the square I have in the pool.
You crest over a hill a day after that moment, and you see the settlement of Las Brasas. Las Brasas is it's a sizable settlement. It is built wide and flat against a massive sheer rock face in the base of the punched peaks. There are parts of the town that you can see from a distance that are elevated above the rest in large, arching, cavernous sections of that otherwise complete rock wall. There's about 6 to 8 of them along the long length of the town, but about 4 of them are big enough to have multiple buildings within them. So it's these giant, a lot of them looking natural, a couple of them looking carved out archways that build into the side of the mountain. And then most of the town, a significant amount of the town, is just built on the ground against that rock wall, stretching north to south. Um, you can see also that within those cavernous archways that lead into the mountainside, you see like the smoke and smog billowing out of like, you know, metalworking facilities, mining operations, stuff like that. Like that is just billowing up through vents that have been carved in the rock face and up along the face of the stone, and then like dissipating into the air. The town's pretty big for as far as like length from one end to the other, like almost unprecedented in the ways of settlements. Like a lot of settlements are kind of like, you know, circular in shape. This one's like a line, with like a few streets built off of the rock face. You approach in the early evening. The sun is not quite set. You have about like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours of daylight. And as you approach and as the nomads roll into town, you're able to see, there's a, like kind of a governance type building somewhat in the center of town, and not too far from that section of town, like just like a street over, you see some bleachers and you hear cheering as you get out, and you hear like bells ringing and people like shouting and cheering, and you see that Las Brasas, relatively like right in the center of town, has a relatively, I mean, Gus, you probably think it's extremely good. Eloise, you think it is very modest and quaint. Same for Porter. Dex, it's probably you can identify it solidly as like a modest good thing for a settlement. There is a
This is nice.
Yes. There is a modest rebound court. Now, of course, all of you know that Rebound is a sport on Manifest where 2 teams of 5 players compete for control over a ball that is about 16 inches in diameter. The court includes about 8 to 10 foot tall posts, depending on the court. There are 5 placed in the center of the court in sort of an X-like formation, and then there are 2 on either end of the court, and those 2 have circular baskets built into the top of them. The goal of the game is to transport the rebound ball to the opponent's end of the court and either hit their post with it or dunk it in the basket on the opponent's end. You gain 1 point for hitting the opposing team's post and 3 points for successfully dunking the ball into the basket. You do not receive additional points for throwing the ball into the opponent's basket. That counts as throwing it against the post. Players are only allowed to hold the rebound ball in one hand and must bounce the ball once against the ground or against one of the game's posts when passing to a teammate. They are also prohibited from passing the ball to a player positioned further down the court from them. They must pass the ball laterally or backwards. Players can turn over control of the ball either by intercepting a pass after a score has been made, or they can hit it, like straight up punch it out of the hand of the ball carrier. They cannot fully tackle the ball carrier, but they are allowed to physically block them, and they're allowed to more actively body check and inhibit players who are not in possession of the ball.
And then you shout at the refs, "Let them play, ref."
Come on, ref. Rebound.
The posts in the center of the field are safe zones where the ball carrier cannot be touched by opposing players. Once the ball carrier places their free hand on one of the safety posts, they have a limited amount of time before they must move, and then they cannot return to the safety post unless possession of the ball has changed hands at least once. The game lasts for 2 25-minute halves with a 10-minute break in between. Each team is allowed 2 timeouts per half. And as you exit and hear cheering, you hear, and another score for the Chupacabras. Looks like the Broomhill Prowlers are on the back foot. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I have a really
They still
important
wanna
question.
play it.
a really important question about the Chupacabra's score right there. Was it like a pretty hard shot, do you think?
Unfortunately, for the purposes of your XP gain, no, they don't.
That die is rigged. That die is
No.
rigged.
Tommy, can you dunk?
Was the problem resolved with a show of strength?
Oh, you never know. You're not there. For all you know, it was a show of finesse. All right. Cool. That is where we're ending tonight's session. They step out of the Nomad trailer into Las Brasas. You're there. The rebound court's been there the whole time.
Tony, if you had said last campaign, space basketball is there, I would have drove us there in literally 4 hours from Tobias Stage. I don't know how close it is. I would have done it in 4 hours. And I would have become coach of this team.
We were on the road for 6 days. Should I resolve my role for crafting?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pull up the questions in the Discord.
Yay! All right, I got this. All
right, we're moving into Q&A time as Seth finishes his crafting roll for his paralyzed tonic.
Yep,
toxin.
Yep, I finished.
Okay, cool. That is an excellent quality. Make sure you mark the quality because that makes it harder to resist.
Yeah.
All right. I clicked on the wrong Discord. Aha. There we go. All right, so we have a couple questions in the Discord. If you have questions in the chat, go ahead and throw them out. I do see Argent Lom says the problem was solved with a show of strength because Gus lifted up that big heavy piece of venting for Saoirse, so that will be XP for everyone. Woo! So Argent Lom wants to build Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond. How would we build Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond in Manifest? Notable traits are gadgets, hand-to-hand combat, also gadgets. Basically Batman, but less antisocial. And apparently his suit protects him from some amount of radiation.
Does Urbanite get you? It's a choice between Vigilance and Moxie, right?
Urbanite, it's a history, so you just get one, and it is Vigilance.
Okay. So I think that's the history that. I think it's okay because the thing is, I think his actual trees are Moxie, Subtlety, and Brawler and Brawn. Because the thing about Terry McGinnis Batman is that he's got old man Bruce Wayne in his ear doing the sort of intellectual Batman heavy lifting.
Sure.
And I don't think he actually would have the awareness talents that go into being a really good detective.
Okay.
Like he's probably got good observe, but I don't think he has the talents to support it.
Was he an urchin before? He could have urchin. That gives you subtlety.
I mean, like,
I think it was
his family's like middle class and like lower middle class. I wouldn't call him an urchin. Like they're not poor, but like they don't have a lot of money.
Did you mention sure hands as one of his talents?
I don't think he has sure hands. I think it's subtlety.
Subtlety. It was subtlety, brawn, and what was
Moxie, subtlety, and brawn.
Got it.
Because Terry McGinnis is like most famous, at least to me. The thing I remember the most is when Terry McGinnis fights the Joker in the one where it turns out Joker made himself into a microchip so he could live forever. The way he beats him is he like jokes back to the Joker. And the Joker doesn't know what to do with someone who will respond to his jokes.
That's amazing.
Homesteader feels the most like suburban family. Right?
Yeah. I would say Settler is more suburban.
Settler.
Yeah.
I think you could like Urchin is not quite exactly right, but I think it is the closest thing to right. And then I think he's an urchin brawler.
I was just scrolling up and down this, and I did see Carney, and I was like, no, that's Robin.
Yes.
Yeah. Urchin Brawler seems pretty solid. Yeah. I like
And
it.
then the suit is just really good light power armor.
Yeah. Absolutely. Light power armor has some of the resistances, has some armor, has stealthy as a mod.
And then he probably has a jetpack because the Batman Beyond suit.
Yeah, rocket
fly.
boots. Yeah.
Rocket shoes. Rocket shoes and glider armpits.
Love it. And then the other question from Arget Lom is another character to build. How would we build Mitsurugi from Soul Calibur in Manifest? Notable traits: swordsman seeking perfection of his skill. At one point, he's also shot in the chest by a matchlock rifle and survived, leading him to seek a sword technique that could defeat the guns.
Isn't he also a skeleton?
No.
Just downloaded Soul Calibur last
He's
night.
the samurai
Am
guy.
I thinking of a different guy?
Yeah, you're thinking of a different
Okay.
guy. No. He's
There is a skeleton with a samurai sword in Soul Calibur, right?
I think you're thinking of Yoshimitsu, who's not actually a skeleton.
Yes.
Yoshimitsu is an alien.
It's like a demon.
Yeah, no, he's an alien. I think he's like an interdimensional alien because he appears in multiple different games, and his
He's a
like
troll.
his whole thing is like he just wants to fight people or something like that. But Mitsurugi is just like straight up like Hattori Hanzo samurai like.
Okay,
Through and
okay.
through.
It seems there are a number of skeletons in Soul Calibur, many of whom have swords.
Yes, you're not
My
wrong.
soul still burns. Damn.
Yeah, a tale of
Hey,
two
can someone
souls.
check? Can someone check? Is the soul still burning?
But yeah, no, I played maybe an obscene amount of Soul Calibur for a couple of years growing up, and I was okay with Mitsurugi. So obviously you have the Brawn talent tree to be like the samurai type thing. I think actually Mitsurugi did have like stances you could change between, but I might be misremembering. And so there's literally the tier 4 talent in there's a tier 4 talent in the Brawn tree that is battle stances, and that lets you at the beginning of each of your turns in a combat decide what kind of extra bonuses you want. You can go like on the offensive, you can go defensive, you can be versatile.
You want to stance to intercept? A
Yeah.
joke only for Tommy.
Or anyone who played World of Warcraft. But yeah, so he definitely has brawn and is all the way down to the battle stances talent for sure, because that's like his whole thing. I think his sword, to try and make it the kind of things, like a lot of his abilities, like if you could, well, he was one of the better ones with unblockables. Like he had unblockable attacks that oftentimes were really fast. So I think his sword is like probably has like an energy coil or something. Because every time you do an unblockable, like the sword like catches on fire before you hit them. So I feel like he just like when the fight gets real, he does a samurai pose, and then presses the button. It's like, and then
It's double-edged for sure, right? Given the speed of his attacks.
yeah, absolutely. It's double edged, but it's flavored as only one blade.
He's just very fast.
He's
with
just
it.
so good. Or you could have like a Kenshin thing where the backside is also sharp. Yeah. So definitely Brawn. I honestly don't. I mean, it's a fucking Soul Calibur character. Like, there's not a lot more hardiness because he's extremely good, right? Hardiness and
He
Brawn.
got shot and didn't die.
Got shot, didn't die. So hardiness helps out
That's
with
where
that.
you wanna go.
But I don't really know what his third thing would be. Like,
Maybe subtlety for the dodge.
yeah, or
Treeing down it.
or just because of like the whole like samurai thing, like maybe it's metal just for the discipline
Oh,
talents,
yeah.
right? So
I could
that
see that.
he's just like resistant to like people fucking with him because he's so fucking good at swords, he doesn't care.
Try and do a psychic attack, and he cuts the psychic attack.
Yeah, I
Mind blade.
think that about wraps up Mitsurugi in Manifest. And I did
You're
get
telling me
confirmation.
Soul Calibur doesn't have extensive backstory and like story for each of the characters.
It kind of does
Certainly it
to like a
does.
weird degree. They're like, because it's a lot of backstory, but a lot of it is nothing. A lot of it is just like aesthetic.
He learned how to kill from a young age with a sword. Okay.
Okay, a lot like everyone else here.
It's like the newest Tekken game. Like the story mode begins with, I believe, a father dropping his son off of a cliff into lava, and you're just like me watching that. I'm just like, I'm not gonna unpack any of that. Just tell me who to beat up.
See a soul still burn.
Yes. And then we do have a question. This is going to be for Addie. It's from Mazako. It's less of a game or a narrative question. It's just looking for an update on the ETA of the book. What kind of info we have. We've been posting Kickstarter updates, so there's more there. But Addie has more info than I do in general. But a lot of it is in the Kickstarter updates. I know we're currently very close to hitting a milestone in the layout, but I'll pass it to Addie for more info.
Sure. So the book is written but being edited for layout. We had a mock-up that we didn't love, so we moved to another mock-up, which actually ended up being kind of like making the margins larger. So that put us beyond our page limit for the printer. So we are in try number 3. And as soon as we get the sort of like nitty gritty of like how layout works, which is a lot more like I knew it was complex, but I didn't know how complex it was. We will. It becomes a very easy, very quick process. If things go kind of the best they could go, we could start shipping as early as like the last week in July. That's
crazy optimistic.
That's assuming nothing goes wrong and some things go better than right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yes.
assuming we get to Las Brasas and nothing happens.
I already
Tommy,
I burned
I hate
that
to tell you,
already.
Tommy, this campaign is about rebound now. We're not leaving this town.
100%.
If you get to the middle of
What?
Badlands,
Do you think
you
I
never
wrote out a
leave.
bunch of Rebound team names knowing that you guys were going to ask a bunch of questions about
This is
Rebound?
Hutball all over again.
Gus is like, wow, how do I fill this empty space in me? And then he rolled up over this hill and he said, oh, I've got it.
But yeah, back to the book. That is a very aggressive timetable. We're looking more towards the end of the summer to have the physical copies underway. Of course, we are sending out the digital copies well before them, as soon as the proof is approved. So soon, provided like there isn't another lockdown or whatever, so get your vaccine, and we'll be just hunky-dory.
Please, God, get your vaccine and also social distance and all that good stuff. Please let this pandemic end so we can make this book. Also, to piggyback on that a little bit, as was stated in a few of our Kickstarter updates, realizing that we just like got hit by a huge wall of delays because of COVID, and then us having to completely start over with a new publisher and all this other stuff. We understood that like a lot of people were waiting for things. We had the quick start guide out there, but also we just kind of figured, we know that we get like the first 100 pages. Like once the first, like the big first like huge milestone is like the first 100 pages get completely laid out in like the way that they're going to be in the book for the most part, with maybe a couple tweaks here and there. And then there's like another like 200 pages after that or something along those lines. Roughly, a little less. And then our plan has always been like, as we get those pages in, when we get the first 100 pages, and then like if the other sets of pages come out in installments, we're planning on sending those out. We're like, look, like take a look at the first 100 pages. It has most or all of character creation. in it, and a bunch of other things. Like that's gonna be like our first like big thing. We're gonna send those PDFs out as soon as we have them. So even though there may be a little while longer before the full book comes out, definitely before the physical copy comes out, we're gonna be sending out PDFs to people the moment we have those pages under control, because we know y'all want to see more cool shit, and we also have really cool art we want you to look at. We only showed you a little bit of it in some of the like earlier Kickstarter updates when we were showing you like the histories and the paths and the monsters and stuff. Like there's even more art, guys, and it's really cool. We've been sitting on it for a while and it's killing me. So it's gonna be very pretty, and we're gonna be sending that out to you as we hit those milestones, and then sending you the full book, and then sending you the physical book, and then continuing to do cool
And then you
things.
bring it to conventions, and me and Roman will be there with silver Sharpies, and we will tell you definitively what skill you roll to dunk.
Oh, it's athletics. It's got to be athletics.
It's certainly athletics, unless you're contested, and now we're getting into a much larger conversation that must be settled at a con floor. Sorry.
We did discuss very in depth how we could translate the rules of Manifest into basketball.
I can't wait. I want Manifest to get big enough so that people are playing Rebound like people play Quidditch.
Oh,
Yes.
I can help. We'll get that going easy.
The hardest part is finding a place where you can like
Make a rebound court.
hammer in 7 posts and not have someone mad at you.
Gotta buy land. Listen, when we're rich, we're buying land, and we're building the first National Rebound League.
Done.
All right.
Bring up
Fantastic.
Martin Lawrence.
I don't see any other questions in the stream chat. I don't have any other in the Discord. So we are going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you all so much. As far as I know, we are back on June 29th. I don't think there's anything crazy going on. I know a couple of us are going to be moving right around that time, but I think it's afterwards.
Afterwards.
So we will be letting you know in the next day or two if we will actually be on. Basically, we have a couple of casts who are going to be in sort of a intermediate space, and we're not sure the quality of their internet. So we will post very soon in the next couple of days, well before you can make your Tuesday night plans, to let you know. But either way, we will be back the following week, the first week in July.
I think maybe for simplicity's sake, we'll flip that the other way around. We'll post if we're not on the 29th.
Yes. Is that not what I said?
No, you said we'll let you know if we're going to be on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's
I
sort
was-
of like
yeah.
both.
We'll stand atop a rooftop and scream at you.
We'll
if
just
we're not
shout
gonna
it.
be
It'll be
on.
like
or
it'll be
shout.
like
So-
101 Dalmatians, just like lost puppies.
So I guess what you said could be taken either way. I'm just clarifying that like in the next couple of days, if we're not going to be on the 29th, we're going to post about it. If you don't hear from us in the next couple of days about specifically that, then we will see y'all on the 29th. Just have to figure out a few more logistics, but we're pretty sure we'll make it to the 29th. And if not, we'll post about it and we'll see y'all on the 6th. Oh my God, more gifted.
Yay.
Yeah, we got 5 gifted in the middle of the session from
Wow.
how did you pronounce it, Dan?
I believe it is Saltiest Time.
Salty's Time. I can't believe I can't imagine that's correct. And then
I'm pretty sure it is.
and then
I looked it up. I think it's an anime thing.
and then I'm just gonna say Necro also gifted a sub. Thank you so much, Necro.
Nekroskowitz. How hard is that to say?
Wow.
Not at all. You just said it. It's all good. And I don't have to. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
the gifted
Greta.
sub.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Zenny.
guys.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. We love you. And we are gonna end the stream for tonight. We hope you all had a good time. We did too. We'll see you next week. Or if you hear from us, we'll see you the week after next week. Bye-bye.
We'll see you in the future.
In the future. Bye-bye.
On Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays.
Bye.
On
Bye-bye.
a future Tuesday.
On a future Tuesday. Bye-bye.